Last night, Tate Davis tied the single-season home run record for Louisville with his 25th of the year in a 13-10 win over Clemson. Tonight, he'll have to deal with Michael Sharman, the reigning ACC Pitcher of the Week for Clemson. It's Louisville and Clemson in a huge game tonight, next on the ACC Network. Welcome to ACC Baseball, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Tonight, it's the second game of a three-game series in Louisville, Kentucky, between the Clemson Tigers and the Louisville Cardinals. And we welcome you inside our broadcast booth here at Jim Patterson Stadium with Gabby Sanchez. I'm Mike Farron. Before the season started, we thought both these teams had Omaha aspirations. Little do we know they'd both be fighting for their postseason lives.
You look at a team like Louisville. Last year, the only ACC team to make it to Omaha. Clemson, every single year, it seems like they've been hosting. But this is a must-win for both of these teams.
Well, and they're going to have their stars today that are going to make a big difference, including Tate Davis, an incredible season for the sophomore.
I'll tell you what, you look at what Tate Davis has been able to do this year. 25 home runs, yeah, that leads D1 baseball. The 76 RBIs, that also leads D1 baseball. But for me, he's hitting .396 for a power hitter.
An incredible season for him. Michael Sharman will try to shut him down. Two-time ACC Pitcher of the Week and coming off a really strong start against then number 9 ranked Virginia last Saturday.
I'll tell you what, for Clemson, if you're looking at Mr. Reliable, that's him right here, Michael Sharman. What he's been able to do every single game he goes out there, he gives his team a chance to win a ball game.
Let's take a look at the lineup behind him for Clemson tonight, as the Tigers losing the opener yesterday 13-10, a good offensive performance. Cool story. We'll talk more about Briggs Sullivan later on. He has had just one plate appearance this year. He is starting in right field.
Now, one of the other guys, too, that I like to look at is Tristan McClatty. He got hit in the face. He's back in the lineup, so it's nice to see him there in the top of the lineup for this Clemson Tigers team.
And on the mound for Louisville will be Ethan Eberle. Last year's Friday starter by the end of the season has moved back into the Saturday role and has been pitching very well of late.
Yeah, you look at his last couple of starts, he has been good. He's been going out there, he's been getting outs. He had a really good one against Duke where he struck out 15 batters. The fastball was on, his curveball was absolutely fantastic. For him, it's going to be location. If he's able to spot his pitches, especially in the down part of the zone, boy, he becomes tough to hit.
Nate Savoy will lead things off for Clemson, the slugging DH tonight, who homered yesterday as he takes the first pitch of the ballgame for a strike, and we are underway. You can see the conference records of both of these teams. Clemson at 6-13, Louisville at 8-11. Neither are currently projected to be in the NCAA field, but Gabby, they both have a chance. They both need wins and lots of them.
They do, and right now you're in the part of the season where it's late. There is no, well, we have next, series. We have the next week. You have to win these games, and they're important, both to Clemson and to Louisville. That's what makes this game really important, especially when you start to look at where they are in the ACC standings.
The 0-2 misses and the count 1-2 to Savoy.
We can easily say, too, that the ACC this year is better than it's ever been. All these teams, when you look at it, it doesn't matter if you're in the top of the conference, if you're in the bottom of the conference, any single team can beat you at any given day.
1-2 the count to Savoy, the set and the pitch. In the air to center field, going back on it, Lucas Moore still going back to the fence, and it's out of here. Nate Savoy gets things started for Clemson with an opposite field solo home run, his 15th of the year, and it's 1-0 Tigers. That's the shot in the arm that Clemson's been waiting for.
And I tell you what, Nate Savoy, he has been doing it all season long, and he does it again. His 15th home run that ties Jacob Gerald for a team high. But man, it's what he can do. It's a short, compact swing. Pitch is down, not a bad pitch at all. Good pitch, down and away, but just a really good job by Nate Savoy, dropping that bad head, staying on it, and driving it out to center field.
So an early 1-0 advantage against Eberle, and here's Tristan McClatty. One of the few left-handed hitters in the lineup. McClatty playing second base tonight. He had a rough night defensively yesterday. a couple of miscues. Clemson, who had been playing very good defense over the last 3 weeks, committed a pair of errors, and you can see the football-style face mask that he's wearing. Glad he swings and misses. He was hit in the face of the pitch in the Stanford series and missed a couple of weeks, but back in the lineup. This is a tough kid.
A very tough kid. I'm looking at the face mask. I'm like, is that enough for a ball to still get in there? Like, that's pretty good spacing. Usually those would be a little bit thinner so the ball couldn't get in.
Are you saying that he's got kicker face mask on now as opposed to running back face mask?
Got to keep the eye gouging out of the way.
You got to be able to see.
Those things, I mean, that's a thick, can a ball get in there? That's the only thing I'm asking.
The pitch in the dirt, the count 2-2. I mean, that would, if there was a ball to get in there, you would be the best skee ball player in America, I think.
Let's go, Ethan, let's go!
Well, you know what? Guys don't wear it. They're not used to wearing it. It could kind of mess with your vision. So, hey, make it a little bit thicker so you can see through. I get it.
Pitch inside, and the count evens. 2-2.
That's going to be the pitch right there for Everly. If he's able to land that curveball. That's what he was able to do when he struck out 15 at Duke. The curveball, he could land it whenever throughout the whole entire count. If he's not able to land that one for a strike, then he has to rely just on that fastball.
Pitch tapped up along the first base side, barehanded by Nugent, and the catcher throws him out. Nice play by Davis to stretch into the runner for out number 1.
And Nugent, great job there too, giving himself some space. Davis also at first base, understanding, got to give your catcher the ability to make a throw over. He goes on the inside part of the first base bag. Great job there too. One of the things I was looking at with McClatty too is where he was running up the line. Very close. I don't think he was in the lane of the runner's lane, which if something would have happened there, probably would have been able to call him out anyways.
One out for Luke Gaffney, who homered last night. He's been on a tear of late, the former Big Ten Freshman of the Year in his second season of the Clemson program. They have been waiting for Gaffney to get hot for over a year, and he's finally gotten there and providing some power. That's been one of the things for Clemson this year. They have not had the power that you would expect. They've been down towards the bottom of the league. In fact, we're third from the bottom in runs per game in conference games, and that's the story. It's almost stunning to think of a Clemson team without a dynamic, powerful offense.
And look, they've got a couple guys in their lineup that can definitely hit the ball out. Savoy, you got Jacob Gerald, those guys double-digit home run guys.
Checks his swing, appeal to first, no swing.
But you need other guys up and down the lineup that can do it, especially when you go to Clemson, you look at their stadium. One of the big things, too, and we heard it last year, wind was blowing in consistently at their field, which is why all of a sudden the home run numbers came down. This year's been a little bit of a different story.
The 1-2, that one misses, and the count 2-2. They do have a couple of players in double digits, including Savoy with his 15th of the year. The other man who has hit for a ton of power is in the on-deck circle, Jacob Gerald, doing the catching tonight. 2-2 the count to Gaffney. The pitch to the first baseman. He hits it back through the middle. It's a base hit. One out single, and that will bring up Gerald.
It's a beautiful job of hitting by Luke Gaffney. You talk about it. He's been hot, and right there, that's how you stay hot. Get a ball, you stay inside of it, you're not trying to do too much. You have 2 strikes on you. It's a team at bat at that point. Once you get to 2 strikes, that's a team at bat. Before 2, go ahead. You want to let loose, you want to go ahead and rip one, see if you can hit a homer, by all means, go at it. But when you get to 2 strikes, short, compact swings will work.
Gerald, 15 homers this year, throw over to first, and Gaffney dives back. Gaffney's not really been a big threat to run this year. No stolen base attempts. There you see Gerald, the senior captain of this team. Maybe the best power season for this club. He has massive raw power. The catcher swings and launches this one deep to left field, and it's 3-0 Clemson in the first. A pair of home runs from the top 2 home run hitters in the Clemson lineup in the first. First Savoy, now Gerald, 3-0 Tigers.
I'll tell you this, Jacob Gerald did not like to be tied by Nate Savoy in the home run. He said, I want to be the leader in the clubhouse. And boy, he leaned all back on that one. Back leg, see you later, gets the breaking ball and drives it over that left field fence. What a swing.
3-0 already as Eberle gives him a pair of home runs. He's now given up 6 to right-handed hitters all year as Jack Crichton takes the ball. 1-0, senior outfielder from the state of Michigan. The pitch.
Yeah!
Called strike on the outside corner. It's 1-1.
Let's go, E! Right here, 5-1. Get it done, kid!
There's the set. The pitch. Fouled away. The count 1-2.
The hardest thing for a pitcher right now, especially early on in the game when you've already gotten tagged a couple of times, is all of a sudden losing the strike zone, and you can't do that. Luckily for Eberle, he's not. He's still in attack mode. One thing I need to see out of him is those breaking balls down. I'm seeing a lot of breaking balls that are just getting left up. They don't have that big tumbling action that we have seen from Eberle in prior starts. Once he gets that breaking ball, he's got to bury it, especially when you get a guy into 2 strikes. It's got to be your swing and miss pitch.
2-2, bounce foul. And Crichton stays alive. That one was down a little bit more.
That's kind of where you want it to be. If he's able to execute there and have those pitches down, he's going to be good. And the other thing is, he's got to be able to get the ball into right-handed hitters. Right now, he's leaving everything out over the plate. Guys are going to be able to get extension on him.
Popped up into right center field. Moving over is Campbell, the right fielder tonight. Now Campbell making the catch, 2 outs. It'll bring up Bryce Clavon. There's 3-0 first inning. Clavon, the transfer from Georgia, has taken over in center field and has done a nice job. Well, the offensive numbers have slumped of late, but he's got some pop and a little bit of speed. And thank you, Alex. We welcome you to Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky for this huge game between the Clemson Tigers and the Louisville Cardinals. A pair of Clemson home runs in the first inning for Nate Savoy and Jacob Gerald have given them the lead as Clavon bunts at third base side, and it will go foul. At the count 0-2, the speedster will come back to the plate. It gives us a chance to talk about this, Gabby Sanchez, that tonight feels like a must-win for Clemson. It's a really probably gotta win for Louisville if they're going to keep their postseason hopes alive. Eric Bakwich's team had a rough year.
Yeah, you look at Eric Bakich and the team this year. Remember, the last couple of years, they've been hosting regionals. This is the first time that they're actually seeing themselves at this part of the season away from even being in the NCAA tournament. So right now, for Clemson, it really is. You've got to win every single game from here on out, especially in ACC play. For Louisville, they're a team that right now, it's kind of almost where they were at last year. They're in that midst of, hey, if we win, we're going to be good.
Nugent throws to first to end the top of the first. And it's a 3-0 lead for Clemson. I can get you up to date a little bit on how we got here last night. Louisville won 13-10. They jumped out in the first inning. Aiden Canuck, the ace for Clemson. His stuff was up in the zone early in the game. And Davis blasted this 2-run homer in the first, his 25th of the season.
Yeah, Aiden Canuck, his pitch is the changeup. But when you leave it up, you got to do exactly what Take Davis did yesterday. 25 home runs on the season. That leads D1 baseball. Oh, yeah, by the way, he also leads D1 baseball in RBIs with 76. And he's almost hitting 400. For me, this is a guy that is probably at the top of the Golden Spikes Award winner, where if he keeps this going, he's going to have some nice hardware to take home with him at the end of this season.
Incredible. A couple of the top players of the country are sophomores. It's 3-0 Clemson. Their offense has struggled all year, but here's how they got here. Nate Savoy, the transfer from LMU, a leadoff home run to right center over leaping Lucas Moore. And then the leading home run hitter, Jacob Gerald. That was just a pull slide yellow. 3-0 Clemson.
This is exactly what Clemson needed to start this ball game off. They need some confidence. They need guys in that dugout to get up. And one of the guys that supplies that is that guy right there, in Jacob Gerald, the catcher. He's a captain. Everybody is looking for him to do something. And boy, whenever they need that big hit, he seems to always come through for them.
Let's take a look at Louisville's lineup. This is one of the top offensive teams in the country. You see Lucas Moore, their speedster at the top there. Zion Rose has battled injuries this year. Otherwise, I think he would be a Golden Spikes Award candidate.
He would be definitely giving a run to take Davis because of what he's been able to do. He's well over that 400 mark this season. He's in 423 in the games that he has played. He has an OPS of 1236.
Is that good? That seems good.
It's exceptional.
The Louisville offense will have their hands full tonight with an extreme strike thrower on the mound for Clemson. This is the Tennessee transfer, Michael Sharman, who twice has been ACC Pitcher of the Week, including this last week, after 8 strong innings against Virginia on Saturday.
Yeah, for Michael Sharman, he's been the guy that Clemson has been able to just rely on. And what he's been able to do on the mound, you look at his last 3 starts, he's only given up 1 run, 2 runs, and 1 run. So only 4 runs in his last 3 starts. He had a nice 7-inning game against Stanford where he only gave up 1 against a North Carolina team who is really good offensively, top to bottom. He ends up going 5, only giving up 2 runs. So he has been that guy that when Bakich needs a good start, he's the one that he's relying on.
Lucas Moore, one of the fastest men in the country, leads off for Louisville. First pitch to the center fielder is a strike. It's 0-1. Moore, the Cincinnati native, has been one of the best and most efficient base stealers in the nation the last 2 years. Takes outside to count 1-1. This is part of this dynamic Louisville offense. They can run, they will play the inside game, and they have power. This is one of the best position player groups in the country. Maybe not quite to the level of like Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, UCLA, but they are definitely at the top of that next group.
I would agree with that. They have guys with power in their lineup. I mean, even like the Zion Rose, we talked about him. If he was playing those 20-something games that he missed, you would be talking about a different story with Louisville because that guy is a game changer. He will win you some ball games on his own.
Now Moore ahead in the count, 3-1. How good has Louisville's offense been in conference games? Only 2 teams have scored more runs per game than the Cardinals. Moore sends that one to left. It's going to be playable there for the left fielder Creighton for out number 1. Here is what Louisville has done in conference play this year. They come into today 3rd in runs per game, and this is where they rank nationally among ACC teams. This is the ACC this year has been one of the top offensive leagues in the country. You can see their rank on their overall numbers, but in league games, only Georgia Tech and Wake Forest have scored more runs per game, and Wake has done that in the last 2 weeks. You may not want to talk about all the runs scored today.
That was There's a lot of offense in that ball game today.
11-3 lead over Georgia Tech, and they ended up losing, so we'll talk more about that later. Here is Zion Rose. He takes a strike in the count, 0-2. Rose missed the non-conference schedule with an ankle issue, then missed a couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. He has not missed a beat since coming back, and now playing the outfield regularly again. Grounder to short. Lichtenberger will throw him out. 2 up, 2 down for Sharman on the first.
And that's one of the things, too, when you get a guy like Michael Sharman on the mound, he is not your typical, Friday or Saturday guy because it's not this overpowering, here's 95, 98 mile an hour fastball. He's 89, 91 miles an hour. He's just pinpoint accuracy. He can move that ball around. He's not going to walk you. You're going to have to earn your way on. Guys are only hitting 197 against him coming into this ball game.
First pitch to Tag Davis is ball 1. Davis last night tied a pair of Louisville Cardinals, Chris Dominguez, the former first rounder of the San Francisco Giants, and Randy Delph from the 1974 Louisville team for the single season record, 25 home runs. There's Ming, now the hitting coach at the University of Miami, former head coach at Bellarmine. And Davis sends it back through the middle for a 2-out single. You know, you talked about it in the open, Gabby. He's not just a power hitter. This dude knows how to hit, and that's a great example.
That's just taking what the defense gives you. Got a couple strikes on you, you know what? That's fine. If you were going to play me pool, I'm going to let that ball travel just a little bit more. I'm going to keep my hands inside the body. I'm going to drive it the opposite way. Thank you very much. I'll take my base hit, but look at where everybody's playing. Everybody's basically on that right side. You give them the whole entire basically left side of that infield, takes advantage of it. But I love to see that because he's a power hitter, right? And a lot of power hitters, they'll go up in that situation and be like, I don't care if they're giving me a hit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can drive this ball out of the ballpark. He understands it's 3-0. What good is it going to be if I can hit a homer? Let me go ahead, let me get on and see if we can get something rolling here with 2 outs.
Well, especially when you have somebody who swung the bat as well as Byram Hott has this year. The Maris transfer a season ago was a role player on the Omaha team. Now he's taken over as the everyday third baseman, and his numbers have been terrific. As you saw there, an average over 370. He's got a little bit of power, manages the strike zone very well.
Well, there's a reason, too, why Tate Davis still gets pitched to, and it's because of how good Hott has been with the bat.
0-2 the count. The set and the pitch. Fouled away. And one thing you're not going to expect a lot from Michael Sharman is free 90 feet. So it's going to be incumbent on these Louisville hitters to pick out good strikes to hit and make contact.
Yeah, he's only walked 10 guys in 56 and 2/3 inning, or now 57 and a third. Like, he is not giving up any free passes.
Just missed the quarter there. The count 1-2.
It's just fun to watch him work. He has a changeup, a curveball. The changeup's going to be his secondary pitch. It's the fastball changeup, but he can throw the curveball over for a strike. He has a little bit of a slider that he'll also throw.
1-2 fouled away. And Hott stays alive. I think one of the keys tonight for Louisville may be their ability to run up pitch count on Sharman, which isn't easy to do.
It's not easy to do, especially with a strike thrower, because, again, we talked about it, he's not overpowering, so you're going to be putting the ball in play. One of the things that Sharman does, too, though, is he'll get a lot of ground ball action.
Bounce or foul, but it's at bats like these where you're fighting off
right,
pitches.
fighting
those
off
two
pitches.
strike pitches, try and live for another one.
It's what you want to do. If you can try to get a pitcher to throw about 20 pitches in the inning, I feel like for hitters, that's where you want it to be. You want it to try to get that pitch count to about 20, 25 pitches in each inning to feel like you had some success.
The 1-2. Hott lines it right to the second baseman, McClatty, and the inning is over. Hit a man left. We've played one. Clemson leading Louisville 3-0. You're watching ACC Baseball presented by Auto Owners Insurance. After a rainy night last night, we have perfect weather here. Baseball cards of the Louisville Stars, like Alex Alicea, being handed out. He's a big Alicea fan.
Yeah, she has even an Alicea pin on.
3-0 Clemson as they lead Louisville in the top of the second inning. And Ethan Eberle back to work here as crowd still filing in on this gorgeous night. A lot going on in the Louisville area that we'll talk more about later on. Jay Dillard takes a strike. It's 0-1.
There's nothing going on. What are you talking about?
It's been an active day.
It's been a very active day.
I mean, not for you and me, but outside. They count 1-1. Last night, 3 different weather delays. 5-hour game.
We had a nice meal.
We did. Hit one of our favorite local establishments. Bouncer to third. Nice play by Hott. 1 out. An easy play on the short hop there.
Not an easy play at all, especially when you're playing on a turf field. You're going to get some big hops. But once this ball hits down, you're supposed to charge. That's exactly what he does, charge. And I just love how he gloves it. One-handed glove shot, gets it on the short hop, makes it look easy, sets his feet up too. Doesn't try to throw on the run. Nice throw across the diamond.
It's funny, we were having a discussion with Dan McDonald, the head coach at Louisville, before the game about infielders playing balls with one hand and how much more prevalent it's gotten. That was a really nice play by Hott. Tyler Lichtenberger, the shortstop, transfer from App State, takes a strike. Lichtenberger from Boca Raton, as you see. No word on whether or not he has an extensive collection of Cabana wear. 1-1 the count. He was selected at one point to play in a high school all-star game in the state in Miami at Marlins Park, now Lone Depot Park, and he called it the coolest experience of his entire life.
It's a beautiful stadium.
Well, I mean, you played there.
I did. I was there when they opened it up. I didn't like playing there.
Well,
yeah, the place is huge for a hitter. If you're a pitcher, you like it. Throw a ball right down the middle and say, go ahead, try to hit it 900 feet to get it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, it was only 700 feet to center field when they opened it. But the good news is it was 550 to the alleys.
It's changed now. All these guys, it's funny too, still
These
going
kids
around
today.
there. These kids are like, man, it's not easy to hit a home run. I'm like, well, you see that line there? That used to be the home run. They're like, no, wait. Yep, that's what the wall was.
3-1. Lichtenberger takes inside, ball 4, and flings the bat away for the 1-out walk.
Just making it easier for the ball girls to be able to come get it and pick up the bat. Got to respect it.
3-0 Clemson for Briggs Sullivan, the freshman, the redshirt freshman, getting his first ever start. He has been a pinch runner this season. He's played in a grand total of 5 games. He has had 1 official at bat and drawn 1 walk. So 2 total plate appearances before tonight. This is part of Clemson trying to find offense wherever they can. Sullivan went into Eric Bakic's offense a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, listen, I know what my role is. I'm a pinch runner. He missed his senior year of high school because of injury. He missed all of last season because of injury. But he's like, is there a way I can do anything to improve to try and take on a bigger role? And quite frankly, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers just liked his moxie. And so tonight, Sullivan is getting his first ever collegiate start.
And you got to love that, too. As a head coach with Bakich, when you have any players that come in who say, hey, I want to do whatever it is and whatever it's going to take to kind of increase the role that I'm playing. I want to see if I can get out there and play. He was hurt his junior year, too, in high school. So didn't play his junior year, his senior year. He's been hurt. As a player, you're like, listen, I know what I can do, and I know and I want to be able to show you. For Bakich, he's like, listen, we've been struggling, so we need something. Maybe you're the answer to what we need to get a little spark going in this offense.
1-1 the count to the freshman outfielder from South Carolina, and he hits a tapper towards the mound. Eberle will underhand to first for out number 2. On the play, Lichtenberger goes to second.
This is an important inning here for Eberle, too, especially after that first inning. Gave up 3. It's not going to kill you. You know, you get through 5-6 innings and you only give up 3. That's a quality start. You did your job. But it's to be able to bear down, especially when you're going up against Nate Savoy, where the last time that you faced him, he took you to dead central.
2 outs for Savoy. The set and the first pitch to the slugger. A strike, and it's 0-1. Savoy, the first Clemson home run to lead off a game since Aiden Mathis did it 2 years ago against Georgia Tech. I would not have guessed that.
No, neither would I.
Savoy is not your typical leadoff hitter, but I think this is a case of get your best players in most plate appearances, right?
Yeah, this is
He's
trying
really good.
Just get things going, especially in that first inning. You know, put the best guys up there. Let's see if we could score like they did today. 3-4 runs, give the guys some confidence, help out the pitching staff.
Freshman All-American a year ago at Loyola Marymount, and he bounces it to third. Tough play for Hott. Off balance throw, offline. Good job by Davis to come off the bag and save an error. That should be an infield hit for Savoy.
You've got to give that one an infield hit. There's nothing you can do there if you're Hott. This is a tough play. Again, this is another tough one for him. It's another high bouncer. The way that he's able to get to this baseball, he tries to get around, knows that he has to get rid of it pretty quickly because Savoy can run. I do love what Davis did there. Not just trying to stay on the base, trying to do, no. Get off the base, go get the ball. You know that you have a guy that if that ball gets behind you is going to score, so you want to keep him over there at third base.
So here's McClatty trying to make this a big inning for Clemson now as they've got this 2-out rally going. And he sends it back through the middle. Sliding stop by Elam to second. Whoa, what a play for the fielder's choice. Cade Elam just saved a run with a slick fielding play in shallow center.
Wow, what a play to keep this game at 3-0. My God, Elam, go get it. Not only that, the way he's able to throw it from his backside. You will see this play again. This is a top tenner. 3-0 Clemson.
Homers for Clemson have given it a 3-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Jimmy Nugent, Ben Slaker, Cade Elam, the scheduled hitters, as Clemson fans hoping to get even in this series. A huge series for both these teams. Clemson 6-13 in league, Louisville 8-11 with a metric issue. Our RPI very high, although we'll talk more about metrics throughout the course of the next 2 days here, but both teams really need a win. I do not think when this schedule came out this year that we could have anticipated that these two teams would basically be in a position where they had to win their last 4 series, and maybe in the case, maybe more than that. Maybe you have to sweep a couple of them to be in the postseason discussion.
If I'm looking at Clemson, they've kind of put themselves in a position where I don't even know if they can afford to lose any ball games at this point. Like, yeah, you can win the next 4 series, and it's going to look good, and it's going to look better, and their RPI is in a really good spot. But it's almost like they have to win out.
Nugent into the hole, diving stop by Lichtenberger. Strong throw, not in time. It got by the first baseman Gaffney, and our home plate umpire Jose Matamoros says it was out of play. So the leadoff man gets to second.
I was about to say, I mean, the gloves are out today. Lichtenberger gets to a ball, fires over to first base. The way he's able to get to it, too, and get up quickly. That's a full dive. Gets up quickly to make the throw. It's more of an in-between hop. It's one there as a first baseman, though. You got to be able to just get in front of it. You know that you're not going to be able to get the out. The last thing that you want to do is give him the extra 90 and get him to second base. Should be a hit and an error.
Yeah, that's the way it should be scored. Although they play in the last half inning.
That's why I said it should be.
Ben Slanker, the transfer from the university, or from Ohio University, swings and misses 0-1. He was one of the top home run hitters in the country a year ago. In fact, 4th in the nation at home runs. He's got 8 of them this year. Gets on base, has power. That went outside, the count 1-1. First real chance for Louisville to try and get into this 3-0 Clemson lead. Strike, and the count 1-2. Michael Sherman is really tough on lefties. He's been tough on righties this year, too.
Yeah. It really doesn't matter. It's what he's able to do on the mound, the way he's able to control that strike zone.
Breaking ball, bounce foul. Past first.
And for Ben Slanker, that's exactly what you're trying to do in this situation. Guy on second, there's no outs. You're trying to get him over to third. The first couple of pitches, I told you, you're looking for something to hammer to that right side. Now it's about, hey, I got to be able to put that ball in play and get that runner over to third to help my team.
The 1-2. Inside. Boy, that was a good take. I would think as a hitter, Gabby, obviously I don't know very much about hitting, but that a spinner like that's up, you're just dying to take a big rip at.
Well, it's at your eyes and you're seeing it so well. You're like, I want to swing at it. I have it here.
It's that one back towards the middle and past it, having Lichtenberger into center field. Nugent comes home to score on the single from Slanker, and Louisville's on the board. They trail 3-1. But the extra 90 feet on the throwing error from Lichtenberger ends up coming up big for Louisville.
And not only that, right, it's playing team ball. We're talking about team ball, and what is Ben Slanker trying to do? Well, he knows that he needs to hit this ball to the right side of second base. That's all he's trying to do, fighting just to get to this ball right here in this pitch, and he's able to put it in play. Not a hard hit baseball, but it's able to trickle through and get himself an RBI.
Cade Elam will bat. The second baseman, the freshman who made that sensational diving play to end the top of the second. Take another look at this. This was incredible.
We're going to be seeing this one a whole bunch today because Cade Elam just came out of nowhere to make this play. That ball taking it to center field. The way he grabs it from the backside and throwing as he's sliding to make the right throw and get it to Alisea. I mean, what a play.
This has been a terrific freshman season for Elam. 4 homers, hitting over 300. He's gotten on base at a very high clip. He is the next generation of Louisville star. Bouncer to third, could be 2. Dillard to second for 1. McClatty's relay not in time. It's a fielder's choice. Yeah, that's the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Kyle Campbell, the right fielder.
I'll tell you what. This is going to be a really tough play. Dillard is going to come make this play, and he's going to throw it to second. One of the things that I noticed, McClatty, who is wearing the face guard because he got hit in the face, it almost looks like he lost the ball with the sun. The sun almost kind of gets into his face. It looks like that sun is kind of hitting first base and second base side. So when you're looking at when he makes his play, just watch his face as he's making it. It's almost like it's a protection mode. Like, I know that the ball is here, and now I don't see it anymore, and I'm going to cover my face with my glove.
Yeah, you can see the right side of the infield. And, Gabby, it's interesting you mentioned that. I almost wondered on the error by Lichtenberger if Gaffney had trouble with the sun at first base. It is really bright.
Right, now looking at the situation, looking at the guys, there is a lot of bright section from that side.
That could be two. Campbell the second for one on to first, and Campbell just runs too well. That was a little bit more routine effort for the Clemson infield, but 2 outs, and it'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Alex Alicea. You see McClatty, facial fractures in the Stanford series, and the swelling was bad enough that he had to wait several days to fly back to Clemson.
Yeah, McClatty. I mean, now he has to wear the face guard. Now he has to wear the cage when he's hitting. Like, now it's about protection to the young player. But you're right, guy hit in the face, and he didn't meet up with the team. What was it, like a week? For a week, he couldn't fly out.
It was a couple
pressure.
of days. Yeah, it was. He had to wait until the swelling went down before he could get on the flight. Alex Alicea, the switch-hitting shortstop, takes inside. On the corner, it's 0-1. Alicea, the heartbeat of this team in a lot of ways. Been dealing with a little bit of a back issue, but it's been better over the last couple weeks.
Still inside.
And he's behind the count 0-2.
Here we go, Alex.
Good speed, handles the bat very, very well. Takes upstairs, the count 1-2.
And this is one of the things, when you look at Sharman pitching, what makes him so successful. Alicea is going up there, and what did he do his first 2 pitches? Boom, fastball's in. What does that do? All of a sudden, now I can't lean over as a hitter and work that outside corner.
On the ground to third, and Dillard to second, and in and out of the glove of McClatty. The throw is offline. It's going to be an error, and now the lineup turns over for Louisville with Lucas Moore.
You know, Clemson had been really good on the defensive side, but then yesterday, 5 errors. Today, they're already sitting at 2. So it's one of the things that they had cleaned up. Then all of a sudden in yesterday's ball game kind of got away from him. That's the play that needs to be made by McClatty. That ball goes in and out of his glove. He's there as a first baseman. There is no double play. You got to just be able to catch that baseball. And again, we are looking at kind of where the sun is. Did that sun hinder the way that he was catching that baseball? But boy, you got to make that play.
First pitch to Lucas Moore, misses outside, 1-0. There's Clemson's record with 2 or more errors or less than 2. And last year's team was outstanding defensively. The year before, especially before Andrew Chufo was hurt, was an excellent defensive team. They've not been to that level consistently this year. McClatty has had to move around. He's played center field. He's played third base. He's played second. He's playing second again tonight, and really is playing with the facial fractures because of the injury to Jaron Purify, their regular leadoff hitter, who is available now. He's been cleared to play, took batting practice for the game, and we could potentially see him off the bench even getting at bat for Clemson tonight.
Yeah, he's still going to have some pain with the broken hand. He's still going to have that kind of issue, but he's taped it up. He understands that this team needs him. He's going to go out there and he's going to do whatever he can to help Clemson win.
2-2 the count to Moore.
And that will also help kind of solidify the infield and the defenses because he is very good with the glove.
He is their most vocal leader as well, and he has been challenged to continue to lead while dealing with the injury, but you know he wants to be back out there. Swing and a miss. Moore down on strikes. First strikeout for Sharman, and it comes at a big spot. Louisville gets on the board. We've played 2. Clemson leading Louisville 3-1 in this tight, intense matchup. ACC Baseball is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. You see a couple of ECU Pirates. Clemson head coach Eric Bakich and hitting coach Nick Schnabel. They were together at Michigan when Bakich was the head coach. Here at Clemson, both wear number 23. See Jared Purify wearing it in that photo as well, and that's in honor of the late Keith LeClaire, their head coach at Eastern Kentucky, who died from ALS. Every year, Clemson does an incredible job with Mustache March. Bakich usually has incredible facial hair for that. This year, he tried to shave it from the, what was it? He had the foo and then went to the regular caterpillar in an effort to try and change their luck. That's the way things have gone for Clemson's season this year, but they raise a lot of money and awareness, and Keith LeClaire was such an important figure in college baseball history. The ballpark in Greenville is named after him now, and was a terrific coach who died in his early 40s from ALS. You see Nick Schnabel, and the other tie to the Clemson program is that Keith LeClaire's head coach at Western Carolina was the legendary Jack Leggett, one of our favorites, who is back involved in the Clemson program and on staff with Eric Bakich, who he coached.
Oh, and he's watching. He's watching us right now, 100%. He is tuned in to every single one of these games.
Luke Gaffney leading off the third inning for Clemson, with them leading 3-1. Breaking ball strike, and the count 2-2. We have not had much of a chance here to talk about tonight's starter for Louisville, Ethan Eberle. Last year, right at this time last year, Gabby, in fact, it was basically the same weekend. It was opening day at Churchill Downs weekend, which is when we were here for the Florida State series. He gets a ground out to start the inning. And he moved into the rotation, or really took a step forward, I should say, in the rotation for Louisville. That was in a series win over Florida State. Saw what he did as a part-time starter and then as their lead starter going into Omaha last year. This is while Patrick Forbes was out, Tucker Biven was still in the bullpen. A couple of stars that have gone on to pro ball. Forbes was a first-rounder. Eberle got off to a very slow start this year and lost his hold on the rotation spot for a week. But really, and I know he gave up a couple homers in the first, he has looked like a different guy since that Duke series. We were there the night that he punched out 15, and I know he gave him 5 runs that night, but the thing that stood out was he was much more on the attack than he had been when we'd seen him earlier in the year.
Well, you talk about attack, 11 of the 13 batters that he faced, first pitch strikes. Right, so that is saying, hey, going up there and I'm going to try to get ahead with strike 1. Where he starts to fall behind just a little bit, when he gets into 2 strikes, he is just throwing the ball over the heart of the plate a little bit too much, and that's been hurting him. He hasn't been able to get to those corners. The other thing, he needs to be able to come in with the fastball. We haven't really seen it. Every fastball is kind of away to righties. Every breaking ball is away. He needs to be able to attack that inside to be able to now open up that outside part of the plate.
I have to think that that's a little bit more challenging for a left-handed sinker baller than it would be for somebody who relied on a four-seamer or maybe had a cut fastball to get in on righties. That when you have that pitch, even if you try to start it inside, would have a tendency to leak into a right-handed hitter's nitro zone.
Well, here's the thing, too. Look where he stands on the mound. He is trying to control that inside part, but where he's throwing it from, it's that low 3/4, right? So that arm angle where he's at, it's really hard for him to get from that arm angle and shoot it straight across the plate. So for him, it's really hard, and like you talked about, it's a sinker baller too that's going to go away from a righty. So he is trying to understand, like, hey, I know that I need to be able to get it in there with that sinker, but you know what? Every once in a while, make it a four-seam fastball. Do something to just get that right-handed hitter to stand up and go, oh, it doesn't need to be a strike. It's just to show him, hey, I will go in there.
Jarrell, his second walk of the day. He falls behind Crichton 1-0. It is a lot of ground balls to lefties. Righties, it's just under 50%, so a pretty healthy amount. And he gets a ground ball from Crichton here. That could be two. Elam to Alisea to first. And Davis with the stretch. And a 4-6-3 twin killing ends the third. Some good infield defense from the Louisville Cardinals to end the third.
Well, he got his pitcher's best friend, the double play. Elam Alisea to Davis. Now, this is ridiculous. You got to have the bat on the ground. You can't be spinning around. We want to see people falling and being dizzy. When you're just spinning around in a circle, that's not going to do it. We need to see better. That's all I'm saying.
You know, it is opening weekend at Churchill Downs. I believe they would say, if they were going to investigate, they would call it an inquiry, right? Do we need an inquiry right now into the dizzy bat race?
That shouldn't even count for a dizzy bat race.
There was
just saying.
A significant difference in athleticism between tall dude and not as tall dude. I want to point out.
Tall dude and
like his closing speed was like.
He's got the length.
He's got the length. I don't know who Louisville lost in the draft, but maybe they want to look at him. 3-1 Clemson as we start the bottom of the third inning. Zion Rose to lead off against Michael Sharman. Sharman captured the national attention earlier this year with a 78-pitch complete game against South Carolina. That's not a misprint. That was 78 pitches as Rose, a hot shot to third. That's McClatty now at third, who throws him out. Well, a little defensive change here with Ty Dillard going to second. Nice play by McClatty, one out.
Well, if you're going to show, hey, you know, that was just a mistake, the other ones, this is how you do it. McClatty moves over from second to third. This ball is struck at 101 miles an hour. McClatty, I thought like I heard him say, "ooh," as he was catching that ball. Gets up and makes the nice throw. You can see the sun is really bothering these infielders.
Pitches a strike to Tag Davis. Count 0-1. You see the sun, and you see the shift for Davis. Still one homer shy of holding the single-season home run record by himself, and he's behind 0-2.
He was trying to go for it there, a big swing.
Davis has actually handled lefties pretty well this year. Sharman has handled everybody. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He made quick work of Davis, 2 outs. Second strikeout for the left-hander. We'll bring up Byram Hott. This is what Michael Sharman does. Twice the ACC Pitcher of the Week, including this last week. He was with Tennessee a season ago. He actually, before that, was at Parkland Community College. You may have heard Parkland mentioned if you follow Major League Baseball. It's in downstate Illinois. That's where Sam Antonacci went to the Chicago White Sox before he went to Coastal Carolina. Very good community college, junior college program. Then he was at Georgia Highlands before getting to Tennessee and entered the portal, came to Clemson. He has been dynamite this year. Look at the difference in the numbers this year as he's been given a rotation spot. He has been outstanding for the Tigers. 0-2, smacked back through the middle by Hott. He's aboard for Jimmy Nugent.
That's a really nice swing by Byram Hott. Gets a nice pitch out over the plate, does a nice job of staying inside and driving it right back up the box. There's a reason why a guy like Tate Davis has the home runs that he has. Well, you need protection. And guess what? Byram Hott has given him that protection this year. Really, at the end of the season for Louisville, they'll look at certain guys, and for me, Byram Hott was one of the big reasons why if this Louisville team continues to go on, he's going to be the guy.
First pitch misses outside to Jimmy Nugent. It's 1-0. Nugent singled and scored. Lone Louisville run in the second. They trail 3-1. Clemson with a pair of home runs in the first inning. One from Nate Savoy and a 2-run shot from Jacob Gerald. That's what's given them the lead. Clemson needs a win to even this series and get to 7 wins in league play, set them up for a chance to win this important road series. Louisville, they need wins against quality opponents, and even though the record in conference play isn't great for Clemson, they have a very good RPI, and that will help Louisville if they can come back and win this series. Cal 1-1, because as we'll talk about a little bit later on, Louisville has some RPI issues. Hott runs well at first, waiting. He goes. The pitch, a strike. The throw from Gerald is in time to get him. Inning over. A one-up throw from Gerald to gun down Byram Hott and end the inning.
This is a heck of a throw from Jacob Gerald. Getting out quickly. Byram Hott had a great jump, but it doesn't matter. He is out at second.
Welcome to ACC Baseball presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Jim Patterson Stadium, Louisville, Kentucky. This terrific facility, and the head coach of the Louisville Cardinals in his 20th season joins us now. Dan McDonald is with us. Mac, I know this is a very important series for you guys. What's been your message to this team, and how different is it from where you were a year ago when you were in a similar spot?
Yeah, it's be where your feet are. All you can control is trying to be 1-0 today. So, making sure we play with an edge, making sure we have to earn it every day. You got to earn your respect. We seem to do better when there's a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. But you can't do anything about the past. You can't worry about tomorrow. We addressed a week ago or so, hey, we got 20 games left. Let's just be where our feet are. Let's be 1-0 today. So, big win last night, late night. And when you walked into our facility today, it just said 1-0 on the board.
When you look at a guy like Ethan Eberle, who's on the mound right now, of course, first inning struggles, but he was able to get back into it. And all of a sudden, the second and the third, didn't give up another run. What is something that you would tell him during this game, knowing that, hey, every single one of these is going to be important from here on out?
Well, that's the one thing you love about Ethan. I mean, he did it last year. You guys saw him do it all, into the postseason, the Super Regionals in Omaha. He's competing. I mean, that's half of this is talent and half of this is the competitive gene. And to give up 3 in the first, and maybe he didn't hit some spots, he had some good swings. It's like, hey, I'm trying to say let's be 1-0. He's trying to get an out, and let's put up a 0 this inning. And yes, everybody needs their starter to get you through that first three innings, get us to the 5th, maybe get us later. And he's obviously doing that. He's giving us a chance.
Mac, we always appreciate the time. Best of luck tonight.
And love having you guys in Louisville. Thanks.
Thanks. Dan McDonald, the head coach of the Louisville Cardinals. We talked about it, Gabby. Last year, this season ended in Omaha. 6th time. I want to point out, Louisville made 1 regional before Dan McDonald showed up.
Yeah.
They went to Omaha his first year. 6 trips to Omaha in his 20 seasons, including last year's team. The last 3 years have been interesting as Clavon draws a leadoff walk, third issued by Eberle. In that 2 years ago, 16 and 14 in league, RPI issues kept him out. Last year, the RPI was a little bit better, 15 and 15 in league, and they managed to not just get in the tournament, but win a road regional and then move on to win a super regional here against Miami. And now you see where they stand. They're under 500 in league. The RPI is very high at 96. That is not a number that you want. If you are in the 40s, you feel good about your chances in that large bid. And you see the record against the top 50 has been under 500 too. This is important for Louisville to win a game against Clemson, because even though Clemson has a losing record in league, their RPI is about 60 points higher or lower.
You look at this Louisville team and what they're able to do. This was a team at the beginning of the year that had really high expectations. They're a top 10 team in the country to start off, and all of a sudden kind of things happen where you lose a player, and Zion Rose wasn't playing there for a long period of time, which is one of their best hitters. So being able to kind of get him back is going to help. But you look at where they're sitting right now, 80-11 in league play. This is a very good team. This is a team, and they did it last year too, that all of a sudden late, they just caught on fire, and they kind of rolled that into winning regional, winning super regional, making it to Omaha. There is nothing to be said that they can't do the same exact thing again.
They're hoping to get things more figured out on the mound. Daniel Levitch and Eberle have settled in the rotation. The bullpen has been a question mark. The other part of Louisville's resume that's interesting is that when you look at the 2 other metrics that the committee will be using, so that's now not just RPI. College basketball has like 6 different metrics that they use. Baseball now has 3, because that throw got away from Davis. KPI, they started using last year, which started as a basketball metric. Kevin Pagua is the guy who created it. He was a former assistant coach at Michigan State. And then there's another one called the Diamond Sports Ranking that the committee will use, and they got Clavon on the pickoff. He thinks he was safe, but he was hung out to dry. We'll have to see whether or not Clemson decides to challenge.
I think Clavon might have actually gotten there with the swing move coming back to first. He was dead to right. He was out. But it looked like he was able to turn his body.
Clemson is challenging the call of out at first base.
Linus Baker, our crew chief, is going to go take a look at this.
But yeah, look to me from where we're sitting, where he was able to contort his body and kind of almost get away from the tag.
I mean, the throw beat him.
Oh, he was out dead to right. It's his athleticism that I think may have gotten him in there. So he was going to try to go. He was off, and it's right here. There's the tag. Does the tag come in?
Boy, if he holds the tag on him, he's definitely out because he came off the base.
I want to see in the initial swipe, he doesn't get him, but there is a top shoulder. Does he get him in the hand before the other hand reaches? Because it does look like he gets the forearm at some point, right? There's the hand. It's hard to see a tag being made there. If this is the view that we're getting, I don't know if that's enough to overturn it. Maybe this other view.
You almost have to weave it together mentally if you're Linus Baker and looking at this.
Because this is what I'm looking at. That right there.
Yeah. Now, this is some great work by our crew here to sync these up.
So it's the tag. Now. and that hand is still not on the base.
Wow.
So if I'm looking at this and I'm syncing this one up, to me, that call in the field is going to be confirmed. That's a great job by the crew to be able to sync this up as quickly as they did. Kudos to them.
So we'll wait for the word from Linus Baker. He's going to get a bunch of different looks at this. And we'll see as the umpires are about ready to look. It almost looked like Cleavon's hand on the swim move got kind of stuck in the ground. You wonder if that stopped his momentum some, but here's Linus Baker.
After video review, the call of out at first base is confirmed.
So a big pickoff gets the speedster Cleavon off the bases for the first out of the inning.
Davis says, I knew he was out the whole time. Tags like, I got this. I don't know why. He was out.
Dillard bats. 3-1 Clemson, top of the fourth. First pitch misses low to Dillard. 1-0. We were talking before the replay review about Louisville's metrics, right? And that there's these two others called the Diamond Sports Ranking and the KPI that the committee will be using. Well, we don't have a clear idea of how the committee will be using this. We know the committee chair is Michael Alford, the athletic director at Florida State. You know, the ACC went for years without any representatives on the committee, so now they have the committee chair. But the question is, how are they going to use those? Because each of the metrics does something differently. And the metrics for Louisville in both KPI and in DSR are significantly better. In fact, they're more in an at-large range when it comes to DSR, probably still a little bit out with KPI. So maybe you look at those two as maybe it doesn't help them as of yet, but every win against a quality team is going to give them a better chance. That was a really nice play by Davis to get the diving Dillard for out number 2. Always had to change directions on that one.
Man, not an easy play for Tage Davis, who has to go up the line to make the play. He was fully stretched to make this play, but where he's at too, right? Because he's playing almost in, thinking the righty's not going to be able to shoot it that way. Has to stop and get back and get a diving Jay Dillard out. This is a very nice play.
Last night in the...
Look at that athleticism from a first baseman. Attaboy.
That looked like he was heading to the pylon. 2 outs for Lichtenberger. Davis last night in the 9th inning, Gabby made a play. He had an error that led to a run on a squibber that could have ended the game. But with the bases loaded and nobody out, there was a chopper over the pitcher, Ty Stark. Davis came in to grab it. There was no play except at home, and he made an off-balance throw to the plate that was incredible. Katie Elam with a great effort, but Lichtenberger beats it out. An infield single with 2 outs here in the Clemson 4th.
Tell you what, Kate Elam's doing some stuff over there at second base. It's pretty amazing. The way he's able to contort his body, the way he's able to throw from different angles, being smart too, not trying to throw that ball in the air, knowing, hey, let's try to one-hop it so at least I'm giving my first baseman a chance to make it. We already saw one of the better plays that we've seen in a very long time that he made in that first inning.
2 outs for Briggs Sullivan, the number 9 hitter. Tap back to the mound his first trip, his first collegiate start. He takes outside, 1-0. Clemson still making that 3 spot in the first hold up. They have not been able to tack on, even though they've had traffic against Eberly in every inning. Throw over to first with the runner back. Eberly's move is deceptive.
Yeah, he's got a different couple of them too, because he does have that quick step-off snap throw, and we've seen that one already. So he understands too that this Clemson team, they'll run, they'll try to steal some bases.
Swing and a miss. That was one of the best breaking balls he's thrown tonight.
That had a lot of bite to it. Rick Sullivan going up there going, wait a minute, I haven't seen any of those all day long. What is that all about?
Said you wanted to play. On the ground, back to the mound. Nice play by Eberly. Get Sullivan, and the inning is over. We'll visit with Clemson head coach Eric Bakich next. They lead Louisville 3-1. Another top 10 showdown in college baseball coming up Tuesday night as Coastal Carolina travels to Chapel Hill. This big Carolinas rivalry. Catch the action on ACC Network, as always, on the ESPN app. 3-1, Clemson leads Louisville as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. We're very pleased to be joined now by the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, Eric Bakich, is with us. EB, Michael Sharman is so impressive in everything he does. What is the superpower you feel like he has?
Well, he's a strike thrower, obviously, and he's been around the block. He's been in college baseball a long time. He's, overcome some injuries. He's, got a different perspective on things, having been to a couple of different junior colleges, and he's played in the SEC. He's just, he's just very grounded in his faith, just an awesome kid, and he's very steady, very good demeanor out there regardless of what happens.
That one hit in the air deep to center field by Nugent, and it'll gut out. It's a solo home run for Jimmy Nugent. It's a one-run game.
Well, back before that happened, I was going to be asking you the switches between Dillard and McClatty going back and forth from third to second. Is that something we're going to see all game, or was that just for that last inning?
Yeah, that was for that last inning. We got Purify out there now at second base. So
well, Purify's out there.
McClatty's out in the outfield. So, yeah, we're just, trying to maneuver the defense best we can strategically.
Eric, we'll let you go. We appreciate the time as always.
Okay, thanks,
best
guys.
of luck tonight. Eric Bakich, yeah, always uncomfortable when you get a home run in the middle of the interview.
We could do there.
Yeah, I know. I felt bad for him. But the biggest story there after the Nugent home run, which was impressive, it made it a one-run game, is there is Jaron Purify. And for the first time since the Notre Dame series, the regular leadoff hitter and second baseman is back in the game. So some big changes here as Lichtenberger will throw out Slanker for out number one. Let's take a look back at the Jimmy Nugent home run off Sharman. He does not give up many homers. That's just the fourth he's allowed all year.
But what a swing by Nugent. This was pretty. Tough pitch, middle in, stays inside of it, drives it to the big part of the field, too. It's not like he's trying to pull that middle in fastball. He is taking it straight to center field, all the power behind it. Beautiful swing.
Cade Elam lines it into left field, and the tying runs aboard here with one out in the fourth. All right, so the changes for Clemson here in this inning as Nugent gets geared up. We talked about Purify being in the game at second base. There he is, one of the captains of this team. Ty Dillard goes back to third. Tristan McClatty, who had been started at second, went to third, is now in right field. McClatty has moved to right field, and Briggs Sullivan is out of the game. There's McClatty, and he can take the mask off going to the outfield. The first pitch misses outside to the speedy Kyle Campbell. It's 1-0. It's a lot going on here in the early going. And again, every moment is going to get more and more tense in this one for both of these teams. Campbell lines one to left. That's a base hit. stopping at second as Elam and Louisville with a threat against Sharman here in the fourth. Back-to-back singles, and here's Alisea.
This is the bottom of the lineup, too. Second time through, understanding exactly what Sharman is trying to do and saying, hey, okay, we see that you're trying to expand that inside part to open up, so early on in the count, we're going to be aggressive to that inside part. We're going to go ahead and try to catch that ball out in front. That's exactly what they've done.
Jimmy Bellinger, the the pitching coach, for Clemson, out to the mound for a quick visit with Sharman. We'll take advantage of a few elevated pitches here, and now this is an interesting situation. Alisea runs very well. He handles the bat very well. We have seen Clemson's defense in this series has not been great. Now, we haven't seen this alignment, right? With Purify back in and Dillard moving to third.
It does make it a little bit different, right? Because you got guys in certain positions now that they can play. We've seen Dillard already making some nice plays over there at third. Now you've completely solidified your second base spot with Purify out there. But I like your thought process. You know what? Go ahead, maybe even lay down that bunt down that third base line.
Spin move to second to see if Alisea was butting.
And this is, for me, if Alisea is going to bunt, it's not going to be for sacrifice. It's going to be for a hit. I don't want him to sacrifice himself if I'm Dan McDonald. I want him to try to bunt that as a hit down that third base line.
First pitch misses low. No sign of a bunt there. It's 1-0. You saw the infielders pinched in. So my question is, do you want to go to third base line, or you want to try and push it past the pitcher as a lefty on the mound?
It's tough because you are going to have to then push it to that right side. There's things there that can happen. Look, Alisea is not a 9-hole hitter. He's a top of the line, top of the card hitter. So him being at 9 is not your typical 9. This guy can handle the bat. The hit ability is there, hitting 283 this season. So there's differences.
He hasn't shown bunt here. He's fallen behind 1-2.
I think they're just going, go ahead and swing the bat. They weren't going to take it away from him. I just like that ability to, if you could, put the pressure on the defense.
He takes just low in the count, 2-2. Yeah, and Alisea, that's his game, right, is put pressure on the defense. He is an extremely tough player. He had to ditch switch hitting last year because of a thumb injury. And he pops this one up. It's Gaffney's chance, the first baseman, with the infield fly rule in effect, makes the catch for out number 2. So a big second out for Michael Sharman into the top of the order with Lucas Moore. Moore is 0 for 2 today. He flied to left and struck out swinging. One of the 3 strikeouts from Sharman. Runners get their lead at first and second. First pitch. Takes a strike, 0-1. Moore, the leadoff hitter. Trying to get Louisville even in this game with a base hit. Sharman trying to get out of this jam. That one driven up the alley, left center field, on the run, and not able to get it is Crichton. It goes to the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Moore's on his way to third with a triple, and Louisville has the lead 4-3. Crichton almost hauled that drive in, and when it got past him, you knew Louisville was going to take the lead.
Lucas Moore, great job hitting this baseball, staying inside of it, driving it to left center field. I'll tell you this, I thought Crichton had it. He was all over it. He had to run a long way to get there. Ball hitting him right off the tip of the glove, can't come up with it, and because of that, all of a sudden, Louisville takes a 4-3 lead.
A 3-run 4th inning, and now here's Zion Rose, who takes outside 1-0. Rose has grounded out twice. The star left fielder waits and takes low, 2-0. The pitch. Inside, it's 3-0, and Tage Davis lurks on deck.
Yeah, but right now, if you're Zion Rose, you're keying in on one pitch and one pitch alone. I'm not going to go ahead and say take 3-0, not with this guy hitting.
3-0. A strike, and the count 3-1.
One of the reasons why I was saying, look at how much space he has right back up the box. Yeah. That's an RBI at third right there for you.
Swings and dumps that one down the right field line. It's a long run for McClatty. Can he get there? And he makes the sliding attempt. Does he have it? He's got it. Tristan McClatty, a spectacular sliding grab to get Clemson out of the inning. I think Louisville may want to take a look here.
Yeah, you have the whole entire bullpen saying, no, 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 he didn't make the catch. That whole bullpen out there in right field is yelling at their coach to say, hey, they've got to see that one again.
The umpires gathering together. They haven't signaled for a replay review. Let's take a look.
I couldn't see.
Oh,
Ball hits. Does it ever? Yes, it does.
No.
Makes contact with the fence. This should be overturned.
Yeah, and they didn't even need to go to replay. The umpires just made the decision on the field.
Yeah, I could see where Eric Bakich could be a little bit upset here because he's going to say the closest umpire was out there. He's the one that said that play was made.
Well, he didn't make a signal for forever.
He didn't make – right, you're right. But he's going to be able to say, then you guys should at least go and look at it and make sure. And I understand that part of it.
Matthew Schaefer, our first base umpire, Linus Baker, our crew chief, they're explaining to Bakich what happened. Schaefer was the one who initially made the call. He said, I just couldn't see it.
Yeah, you can see it again. Here's the play. Ball right off the fence, then comes back. He ends up making the catch after it comes back. I don't even actually, to be honest with you, I don't even know if he made the catch after it came back either.
I mean, smart move to hold the ball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what you're taught to do. Hey, as soon as you get it, hey, hold it up and show that you caught it.
Boy, he closed a lot of ground quickly to get to it, and this conversation's still going on. I mean, listen, I understand Eric Bakich is upset, but if they were to replay this,
it
would take about 7 seconds.
It would be quick. It would be quick. And I think that is what Bakich is trying to say. Like, hey, how are you able to make that assessment from this area? Now he's looking at McClatty saying, did you make the play? And I'm thinking that you're going to get McClatty to be like, no, I didn't.
I think he just asked. Yeah, he just asked someone, is he out? All right. Well, that's enough for Bakich. So.
I think Bakich was trying to yell out to McClatty, hey, did you make the play or not? McClatty was sitting out there going, I'm not paying attention. Not looking.
Now Bakich was trying to decide if he wanted to use that last challenge. And so now they count 3-2, and Rose still at the plate and gets a piece.
Tell you what, McClatty's played third base today. He's played second base today. Now he's going out there to right field.
He's been a main character so far in the night's
He's been a main character in this
play,
game.
hasn't he? The 3-2. Rose to center field. Cleavon going over into right center. Still going over. Still going and makes the catch. It goes into a slide to retire Rose, and the inning is over. Louisville gets the lead. A 3-spot here in the fourth. Jimmy Nugent goes deep. Lucas Moore, a 2-run triple. It's 4-3 Cardinals to the fifth. mixed metaphor. This really hasn't been a slide for anyone tonight. It's been more of a roller coaster ride to this point. Louisville leading Clemson 4-3 as we start the top of the 5th inning. The Cardinals putting up a 3 spot in the inning. A lot of youngsters at the ballpark. I love this ballpark. Jim Patterson Stadium, terrific, just in the shadow of the L&N Financial Credit Union Stadium, the football home of Louisville. As Nate Savoy swings and misses the first offering from Eberle. Get a look at this ballpark and where it sits in a neighborhood. Through its super regionals last year, this place was packed. They had over 6,000 at every game. Bouncer to second, and Elam will throw out Savoy for out number 1. Just like those guys have the rooftops covered, we have you covered in Charlotte for the ACC Men's Lacrosse Championship semis. Games Friday at 5 and 8 Eastern. Coverage begins the All-ACC pregame show at 4:30. It is a little lighter crowd on the garages tonight.
Yeah, there's usually a couple more guys up there.
That's, it's only 8:30 on Saturday night. Come on. There's been a lot going on. Here is Tristan McClatty. McClatty 0 for 2. And he sends that one back towards the middle. Tough play for Elam. Off balance throw. He got him again. Wow, what a night for Kate Elam. Showing off the leather. 2 outs.
I mean, not much you can say about Elam at second base, but he has just been doing some magical things over there. And you're getting a guy that can run in Tristan McClatty. As he's able to get this, turns and fires underneath throw. I mean, wow, we have seen some really special things from Cade Elam at second base.
Luke Gaffney squares the butt and takes high 1-0.
One of the things, too, I want to talk about with Ethan Eberle on the mound, you looked at the first 4 batters of the ball game. 3 for 4, he gave up 2 home runs and 3 runs. Since the next 16 batters, 1 for 13, 3 walks.
And he's had some great defense behind him from Elam that's helped him. As Gaffney pops this one up, foul territory, first base side. Does Davis have a play? He does not. And a count 1-1.
Ooh, that's an expensive camera. Oh, jeez.
That's Asad Ali. Asad is one of the videographers for Louisville's program.
Oh, he's breaking everything now.
Son of Muhammad Ali. Assad is a terrific guy. Oh, we got to know him, spend some time with him last year. What a wonderful dude he is, too. I'm sad for his camera.
Oh, this camera, that's not good. Those are not cheap, by the way.
Louisville's been in the news this week with the athletic director talking about the future of sports. I don't know that he had new camera for Assad on the line items, but
well, he better have one now. I like how he's still smiling, though. He knows that we're on him. He's got to.
1-2. Yeah! Tried to check his swing, he did. And then Schaefer at first said no swing at the count 2-2.
I'll tell you what, it's really fun, too, to hear this crowd, the fans all of a sudden just start to get on their feet and alive, especially after that last inning when they were able to overtake the lead.
Yes! Just missed with a backdoor breaking ball. Nugent was a little frustrated, it looked like, slapped the back of his catcher's glove. And the count now full to Gaffney. Well, you've tried 2 backdoor breaking balls against him to freeze him. Do you go to it a 3rd time?
A fastball in might freeze him, too.
The payoff. It did, but it was low.
It's a good pitch.
3 borderline pitches go against Eberle here. And a 2-out walk, his 4th walk of the night. Yet it doesn't feel like his command has been shaking.
Here's the thing, like you look at that last one, Luke Gaffney, like that was a great pitch and a better take, right? Like that's a really good pitch to throw on a 3-2. Every single one was right around the zone. Gaffney just did a really good job of just not expanding the zone.
Now here's Gerald, who had a 2-run home run in the first inning. The leading home run hitter for Clemson. Gaffney dives back. Gaffney has not attempted to steal this year. There you see Gerald's numbers.
I mean, really, when you look at the Clemson team, Tristan McClatty is the guy that will steal a whole bunch. He's 17 for 18.
Now the Purify's back in there too.
He'll
run a little bit too.
bit.
But of the guys that started, yeah, definitely.
Like
but
Nate Savoy, he's 5 for 5, but like he's not really stealing all that much. And like you said, Gaffney, none. Hasn't even tried one.
well, Clemson's down towards the bottom of the ACC in walk rate. They have not had enough base runners really to run. Strike. That one perfectly located fastball. It's 0-2.
Let's see if he goes to the changeup here. Especially after a fastball down there. You go right back to a changeup here that just falls off the bottom. You'll get that swing and miss.
They throw over to first, and the runner dives back. Louisville trying to clinch a series victory tonight. Clemson trying to get their 7th league win. They have a very good RPI, but they have a problem with their record in ACC play. It has been a trying season for the Tigers. Both these teams playing for their postseason lives. 0-2, and it goes 5-hole on Nugent, and Gaffney will head to second. Well, now Gerald just needs a base hit to get this game even. Clemson has not gotten many breaks over the course of this season. Can they take advantage of this one? Eberle was one pitch away from getting out of his first 1-2-3 inning, and now Clemson with a man in scoring position. Swing and a miss. Gets Gerald on strikes, just his 2nd strikeout of the night, and Clemson leads the tying run in scoring position. We are halfway through this one. Louisville leading Clemson 4-3.
Oh boy, and if you don't think that Eberle is pumped, look at him there after that big strikeout.
Halfway through this one, Louisville a 4-3 lead. Clemson, you see, had a pair of home runs in the first, and just one hit since, and there is Tank Davis, 25 home runs on the season. Tied for the program record for a single season. Chris Dominguez, the great Ming, in 2009, now the hitting coach at Miami. One of those players. That one misses outside. The other name that you saw on that screen is probably not as famous. Randy Delph, in 1974, hit 25 home runs for Louisville. That was a Louisville team that finished, I think it was 12 games under 500. They did reach the semifinals of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament that year. I want to point out, here was his line in 1974. He had 365, had 54 hits, 25 of them were home runs. The Muncie, Indiana native was second team all Missouri Valley.
Well, who cares? He couldn't even get first team. It was second team. I'm like, who got first team with him putting up those kind of numbers? Good
I can tell you.
You couldn't even find a DH spot for him, anything. Throw him in the outfield with those numbers.
I could actually tell you who the first team catcher was. It was Dan Pettyjohn from Tulsa, who went on to win their 6th league title.
Yeah, I remember him.
That year, by the way, Tulsa defeated Drake to go to the NCAA tournament. Neither school has baseball now, but Davis unloads left center field. Clavon back and on the warning track hauls it in. Davis just shy of setting the single-season home run record for Louisville, and I log out number 1.
I mean, he gave it a ride. And what I love about Take Davis, it's not that he's just going to be hitting home runs to the pull side. He can go from line to line. There's power there. He hit it. He thought it had a chance. And, Clavon is able to get there and make the play. No reaction to him. He's like, nah, I know I didn't get it all.
Hot to third. 2 outs.
All right, Jimmy, let's go. First to many, Jimmy.
Sharman, after giving up that, but back-to-back singles, and they by the way, they changed Lucas Moore's triple in the last half inning to an error.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one. He had to run a long way to go ahead and make that play. That was Crichton out in left field. That's not an ordinary play. I get it that he got there and it hit his glove, but he's on full stride mode when he's trying to make that play.
After a rough last inning, Sharman looks like he's starting to get dialed back in here. Clemson needs him to keep posting zeros. They trail 4-3.
Is it bad if I'm not changing and I'm not leaving a triple in my book?
I just don't know that your personal records are going to line up with the NCAA's then.
It's true. But I feel like there's got to be something to be like, hey, can we look at that one again? Because that's not a routine play.
Sure that if you slip somebody a fin, they'll probably be happy to take another look at it. Count 3-0 to Jimmy Nugent. Just as soon as I complimented Michael Sharman getting back on track, he falls behind 3-0. Is it me?
It could be. Don't speak well about me. That's all I got to say.
I was trying to count 3-1. You don't have to worry.
You're the best.
3-1. Nugent in the air down the right field line and out of play, and the count is full. Jimmy Nugent, a solo home run his last trip. Part of that 3-run 4th inning for Louisville off Michael Sharman. Cardinals trying to clinch the series here tonight. The transfer from Lincoln Trail Community College. Payoff. Hot shot. Oh, tough play for Lichtenberger, and he couldn't find the handle. It'll be an infield base hit. Boy, that ball was smashed 111 miles an hour. And Lichtenberger, I mean, that was almost self-defense.
Ooh, that's what 111 sounds like. Lichtenberger does everything he can to try to make this play, but this ball is coming at him hard, and he was still almost able to come up with it and make that play.
I think if he fields that cleanly, or I should say picks it up cleanly, I think he may have had a chance at Nugent, but that was smashed. That should absolutely be a base hit.
I'm not writing it yet. I'm going to wait.
Clemson with 3 errors tonight. A couple of them have been borderline. One of them has been borderline.
I'm going to write it as a hit. Got to.
So the official scorer has not chimed in yet, I think. Yeah, I think it did with a single. So you and he are in alignment tonight.
All right.
On
that one. 111 coming at you. Oh, boy.
You're bringing somebody to audit your scorebook here at the end of the year. Ben Slinker would have won the count. Strike. They count 1 and 2. Do people still score at home? Are there people sitting there scoring at home?
I think there is. I think you got these baseball diehards who are at home just like us, who are making sure that they're keeping their own record and probably agreeing exactly with me, saying that should be a hit.
And you've got the man picked off, the throw down to second, and Nugent is out. And the inning is over. We head to the 6th. We've got a tight one tonight. Louisville leads Clemson 4-3 in a must-win. You're watching ACC Baseball presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Tonight we're at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky, where the Louisville Cardinals have a 4-3 lead over the Clemson Tigers. A 3-run fourth inning, the difference for Louisville. Clemson with a pair of homers in the first. We're getting a solo shot from Jimmy Nugent. That part of that 3-run frame in the fourth, and Ethan Eberle begins the 6th and gets Jack Crichton to chase a breaking ball. It's 0-1. The pressure feels like it's starting to mount on Clemson. 6-13 in league. They have not had much that has gone right this season in ACC play. Crichton sends that one down the right field line. That's got a chance to be extra bases as it rattles into the corner. Campbell over to get it. It's going to be a leadoff double for Jack Crichton. Maybe that's something that helps to spark the Clemson offense tonight. They've been looking for anything that they can.
Well, you kind of go back to that first inning. Clemson was able to jump off with 3 runs in that first, and they really haven't done anything since. So it's nice to see a guy like Jack Crichton, who unfortunately they gave the error to come up and say, hey, I'm going to get myself in scoring position, see if we can at least tie this ball game up.
There's Clavon, infield pinched in on the corners. He squares the bunt, and he slugs at it and misses 0-1. Clemson knows what's at stake. They have hosted regionals the last 3 years. They lost at home to West Virginia last season. They lost in the Super Regional of Florida the year before. And Eric Backage's club has been fighting. He says it's not a talent issue. They just have not been able to line up good pitching and good hitting on the same night with good defense. Clavon bunts it foul. It's 0-2. And so Monday night, Eric Backage, the head coach of Clemson, had the entire team over to the house for dinner. And the plan was to have a bonfire. So I called the county, and they were like, it is extreme fire danger. You can't do that. So they were going to do the kind of the classic, right? Like, just wash away everything from the season. Basically a baseball smudging. Called strike 3. Clavon down on strikes for out number 1. Crichton still at second as the tying run. So instead, they ordered your pie. They had pizza delivered to the house. They all got together. They got into a better mindset. Then they won their midweek Tuesday against USC Upstate. Crichton had a big night. Gaffney had a big night, knocked in 5. And they came out and played a really tense game. Couple of big innings with some key errors did them in last night. But that was the hope, was that, okay, let's just focus on what we have to do on a daily basis to move forward. Because I know we've talked a lot about Clemson tonight, but it is really surprising to see them at 6-13 in league. This is a team that I think was projected to be one of the best teams in the ACC this year.
One of the big things, too, is one-run games that they just can't seem to be the winners of. What is it, 1-8 or 1-9 in one-run ball games so far this season?
Games decided by 3 runs or less, even in ACC play, they're 1-8.
1-8. So when you're kind of looking at those numbers, you're like, we're in every game. It's just we're not getting that big hit or not getting that out when we need it, or, you know, making some blunders out on the field where an error all of a sudden turns into 3 or 4 runs. That has kind of been their Achilles heel all season long. And for Eric Bakich, he knows that, hey, we got to do something to change that around. Purify coming back, I think, is going to really help that out, especially solidifying the infield portion of this team, because now you can kind of put guys back in their place of where they belong.
Dillard ahead in the count, 2-1 as Eberle tosses to second. There is action in the Louisville bullpen as Eberle continues to toss here. Jake Schweitzer, Kason Murphy beginning to get loose, a righty and a lefty. There you see them. Pitch lined into right. Right there is Campbell. He'll make the head-high catch for out number 2, and Crichton will have to hold at second.
Crichton did everything right there. There's nothing you can do. You don't go back to tag. There's one out. You have to try to gain ground. That is the only reason why he's still there. You're in scoring position. Last thing you want is for that ball to fall. You're standing on second. You can't advance to third.
Boy, you can just see the tension on Jack Crichton's face, and that's what Clemson is dealing with. The senior's been a part of this incredible run that Eric Bakich's club has been on the last 3 years. The only thing missing has been a trip to Omaha, but the leadoff double, he's still at second. They need a big hit. Lichtenberger takes a strike. It's 0-1. Lichtenberger on base twice. They need the transfer from App State to come through in this big spot here. Eberle trying to shut the door on the inning and give him 6 strong. And the left-hander has been terrific since the first. A pair of home runs in the first inning. That's accounted for all of Clemson's runs. And Eberle now trying to get through 6 strong. The pitch in the dirt. A little too wide to that breaking ball. It's 1-2.
But we talked about it in the onset, right? When he gave up the 3 runs right away. It was, what are you going to be able to do as a pitcher? Do you just fold, or do you just realize, hey, if I'm able to throw up some zeros here and get to the 6, that's a quality start. He's 1 out away from that.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets Lichtenberger, and Eberle fired up as he strands the leadoff double. Through 5.5, Louisville leads Clemson 4-3. Eberle shutting down the rally. 4, Clemson 3, the Cardinals 3-run fourth inning. Has been the difference in this game. A 2-run, 3-base error. Gabby's scorecard, it's a triple. Off the bat of Lucas Moore.
It is, I didn't.
A tough play by Jack Crichton. Like, it was a really tough play. That's the difference right now. That gave Louisville the lead. Ben Slanker leading off. And he punches one over the head of the third baseman Dillard and down the left field line. It's a base hit.
Maybe
Slanker
two.
around first. He's heading for second. Here comes the throw. Not nearly in time. Ben Slanker, a leadoff double to start the sixth. Well, we just saw Clemson start the sixth inning with an opposite field double. They couldn't move the runner along. Can Louisville find this insurance run?
The best is when you look at the exit speed on this one, 60 miles an hour. It's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. And not only that, for Slanker, understanding, I need to get on my horse. There was no hesitation. As soon as he hit that ball, he saw that it touched dirt. He was off and running to get himself into scoring position.
Cade Elam singled and scored his last trip. The freshman squares to bunt, pulls back, takes a strike. It's 0-1. This definitely feels like a situation where Louisville's going to use the inside game to try and tack on an insurance run.
Yeah, and right now, if you're Cade Elam here, you're trying to bunt the ball to third base. You want that third baseman to make the play.
Elam bunts it, and it's up the third base side. Sharman bare hands, throws
Nobody
it
there.
away. Nobody's covering, and everybody's safe. Miscommunication by Gaffney and Purify at first, and everybody's safe. And that's how it's gone for Clemson this year.
I'll tell you, if I'm looking at it, this is Gaffney's fault. You've got to come out. I understand he's going to try to make a play. He's coming. As soon as he sees this ball hit, he's got to go to first, but he turns around and he gets away. But because he was going to first base and then all of a sudden stopped, he stopped because he saw that Gaffney was coming back. That one, as a first baseman, you've got to understand you've got to get yourself to first base unless you see the second baseman already standing on the base. They were both moving. You have to be able to get over there, turn around, and make a play. Now, I will say that for Cade Elam, that was a fantastic bunt. The way he bunted that ball, it was perfectly placed. He was off and running. He was getting down that first base line. He made it tough, but these are those things that we look at the end of the day with the Clemson defense where it's just kind of shooting themselves in the foot every single game that we've called. And there was plays that they should have been made that if they make those plays, they probably win a ball game. And these are what hurts.
If you were to distill Clemson's season down to a single inning, as it stands right now, and I guess we have to see if they get out of this inning. I don't know that it necessarily would apply the same. But what happened at the top of the sixth and what's happening now in this bottom of the sixth inning, this is what it has been like for them. They have been in games all along, and some of the wounds have been self-inflicted, and that seems to be the case right now. Infield, a double play depth up the middle. Clemson down a run, and here's Kyle Campbell. Swing and a miss by the right fielder. It's 0-1. Now, the good news if you're Clemson is you're down at the bottom of the lineup. The bad news is that Campbell singled and scored his last trip.
Right now what they're doing, too, is they're going to give up one. So they're going to play corners in. So if the ball gets hit to third or first, they have the decision whether or not they want to come home. Up the middle, they're saying basically, we're going to trade a run for 2 outs. We're going to try to turn the double play. And if they score the run, they score the run. We just don't want it to be a bigger inning than just one.
0-2 the count. Runners get their lead at the corners. The pitch. Campbell checks and takes outside. And the count 1-2. 10 hits for Louisville on the night. That's the most that Michael Sharman has allowed this season for Clemson. Runners get their lead. The set. The 1-2. Foul back. Pretty good pitch to hit for Campbell there, and he was just a little tardy. Louisville tonight. You see they've had lots of runners on base, and they've gotten a couple of big hits with men in scoring position. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. A frisbee breaking ball up in the eyes, and Campbell struck out. A big first out for Sharman.
This is a huge out for Sharman. Throws a breaking ball. It's not probably where he wants to put it, but he's able to get the swing and miss. And now when you're kind of looking at the situation, a double play will get you out of this inning without recording an out, without recording a run. But what I'm looking at, too, with the guy who's up the bat and Alex Aliseo who can handle the bat, I wouldn't be surprised here if it's a safety bunt.
He does stunt, and he bunts it foul, first base side.
This is something that you're starting to see a lot in baseball now. The Brewers do it a whole bunch. The Tampa Bay Rays, they've done it a whole bunch. Where first and third situation, it's a safety squeeze. It's not that you have that base runner running hard to home. He's kind of waiting for that ball to get down. As a hitter, you're trying to bunt that ball to first base. You want that first baseman to try to make the play.
Aliseo not bunting, and he rifles one into left field for a base hit. Coming home to score is Slanker. Alex Aliseo delivers. It's 5-3 Louisville.
He went to bunt. He tried to get that bunt down. They took it off. They said, hey, let's go ahead and swing this one. And I love the decision, too, because here's the thing. With Sharman on the mound, this is a very good pitch. It's a fastball in. You're trying to get a ground ball double play. It gets left out just enough where Alex Aliseo is able to get those hands through the zone and drive it to left.
Eric Bakich on his way out. Aliseo the base hit, and that's going to be it for Michael Sharman tonight. Hayden Simerson is going to enter the game. The D2 transfer has been so good out of Clemson bullpen. He's coming into a big spot. Louisville's extended their lead. They have 2 on, 1 out, and the top of the order coming up. Louisville leading 5-3. Let's take a look at some of what's happened in the ACC today. It has been an interesting weekend, would you say? It's been an interesting day. Wake Forest led Georgia Tech 11-3 after 4 innings, trying to even that series. And then what happened? Georgia Tech scored 11 straight runs. They win 14-11. Jared and Vincula, 5 hits and 6 knocked in. BC evens their series after getting run ruled by Notre Dame yesterday. The number 22 Golden Eagles win. Pitt pounded Virginia, run rule victory. They've taken the first 2 in that series from the Hoos. And North Carolina wins the finale of their series with Duke today in runaway fashion as they take 2 from their arch rivals. Who's there on Thursday night? North Carolina really good. You get a look at the ACC in the RPI. Virginia Tech today, even with the loss to North Carolina State, now in the top 40. You see where Louisville and Clemson sit. Again, just one of the metrics being considered this year by the committee. They will use KPI, which is similar to RPI. RPI work is about your opponent's schedule and your strength of schedule and where you play the game. KPI is like that, but it also takes into account margin of victory. The DSR is another one that's a little bit more predictive and doesn't bang you for beating bad teams. Michael Sharman's line you see there as Hayden Simerson replaces him. And he's in a big spot with Louisville leading Clemson 5-3 here in the 6th.
And with Hayden Simerson on the mound, basically a 2-pitch pitcher. It's going to be a fastball, curveball. He does have a changeup that he will throw more of like a split finger. You could see the grip as he was bringing it in. 3.27 ERA. He's not going to really walk anybody. Only 5 walks so far this season. He's got some nice little velo on that fastball, 90 to 93 miles an hour.
He's going to face Lucas Moore to start. 2 on, 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. Louisville's added an insurance run. They lead 5-3. Simerson's had very good numbers against lefties this year, but he's given up a pair of home runs to them.
I mean, you could see what Bakich was thinking too in bringing in Simerson. Batter's only hitting 128 against him this season. He needs that shutdown inning right here. He needs this to end.
First pitch to Moore. He checks and takes low. The appeal to third, and Linus Baker says no swing. 1-0. Moore gave Louisville the lead, and he reached on what was changed to a three-base error on Jack Crichton on a line drive up the alley in left center. And he swings and sends that one to center. Coming in is Clavon to make the catch for out number 2. So a big second out. And now it'll be up to Zion Rose if Louisville's going to break this one open. It's been a quiet night for Rose. He has not gotten on a roll like those kids have. They're looking for more to dance about here with Rose at the plate. First pitch. Takes a strike, it's 0-1. Rose hitting well over 400 in league play. He has been outstanding when he's been healthy this year. The Chicago native waits. Takes down low, the count 1-1. Was it that Dan McDonald called him today? A hit collector?
Hit collector. That's all he does. Every single place he goes, he just makes hard contact on a lot of hits.
Checks and takes low, and the count 2-1. It's not like he chases outside the strike zone. He doesn't expand the zone. He really doesn't swing and miss very much. And I think you saw those numbers of the men in scoring position. He is not afraid to use the middle of the field. Now, Purify keeping the runner close at second, but there's a big hole in the right side. And he swings and sends it deep and foul down the right field line and out of play. And now Simerson 1 strike away from getting out of this jam.
I'll tell you what, Dan McDonald wants him to be a hit collector right now. See if he can get him another run to come across. Just a really good hitter.
5-3 Louisville. They're threatening here in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch. Swinging a liner into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Throw will go to third, an RBI single for Zion Rose, and it's 6-3 Louisville.
Well, the hit collector comes through. And you talked about it, partner. He likes to drive the ball right back up the box and does that just there. This shows how strong he is, too, when he's making contact. Exit speed on it, 85 miles an hour, where this pitch is. Not an easy pitch. He stays inside. That ball jams him, but he's so strong through the zone that he's able to get it over the head of a jumping Purify at second. Great job of base running, too, by Alex Alicea. Making that turn, getting that throw to come into third, stopping, getting back to second.
Here's Davis, and he swings and misses. It's 0-1. Tag Davis looking for home run number 26 on the year. Tied for the most in the nation with fellow sophomore Landon Hairston of ASU. Tied for the most in Louisville history. He's behind on the count 0-2. He was surprised by that fastball.
Yeah, you didn't think that they were going to come with a fastball right down the middle. Guy that with 25 home runs on the season, thinking probably breaking ball, ends up getting the fastball.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. He chased a breaking ball in the dirt, and the inning is over. But Louisville tacks on a pair of insurance runs. Base hits from Alicea and Rose. To the 7th we go. Louisville up 6-3. ACC Baseball is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. Big day here in Louisville. This is the Kentucky Derby Festival Marathon this morning. More than 12,000 runners. It's a qualifier for the Boston Marathon, and then the opening day at Churchill Downs. Next weekend, the Derby. There were plenty of funny hats downtown. I managed to get onto the marathon course about a mile from the end. I pulled a full Rosie Ruiz and walked the last mile. Louisville leading Clemson 6-3 as we head to the 7th. The new pitcher tonight is Jake Schweitzer, who takes over for Ethan Eberle. Gave 6 good innings. I was walking down by the marathon tonight, or this morning, and somebody was holding a sign because it was a full marathon and a half marathon, right? It said, "Emily, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a 13.1."
That's the
And
half
it made
marathon.
me think, it was like, really, do you want to just, why not just say she's a 26.2 if she's not, even if she's not running the full?
She's more than a 10. Scale from 1 to 10. Give him some credit.
Like you were damning your feet praise. Jaron Purify bats his first plate appearance tonight. He came in defensively in the 4th inning. Purify, who has been out of the lineup for a month because of broken fingers. The leadoff hitter, captain, one of the real leaders of this team, takes inside in the count 2-0, and already the umpire consultants in red and white not happy with Jake Schweitzer coming into the game. Ethan Eberle did a really fine job for Louisville. The 2-0. Foul back.
That's one of the things, too, with Purify up to bat. He hasn't been playing. So timing is going to be an issue for him, especially early on. But it's one of those things that Eric Bakich is just like, I need to get my player in there. We need a spark somewhere. We need something to get going here. We need Purify to, so, hey, take this at bat. You're going to be a little late. I get it.
Foul it down the right field line. To your point, it's a little late on 91.
Yeah, it's a little late on that sinker that's 91 miles an hour. You can see a cutter as well from Jake Schweitzer. There's a changeup. He also throws a slider. So he's going to get a lot of stuff that's going to, that fastball is going to move in. Everything else is going to move out over.
2-2. Popped up foul and out of play.
Also, he's going to have some pain when he swings. And that's one of the things that Eric Bakich told us. He said he's going to have some pain when he swings, but it's manageable pain that he can deal with. As a hitter, you know when you don't feel pain? When you square it up. So as a hitter, you're like, all I have to do is just square it up and I'll be fine. Of course, it's harder to do than to say.
Schweitzer misses, and the count is full to Purify. The leadoff man here in the Clemson 7th with him down 3.
I'll tell you what, great at-bat right here by Purify. Hasn't been really getting any at-bats, so to be able to go up there and take your first one to a 3-2 count, taking some tough pitches, getting your swing off.
Fouled away.
Fouling some balls off, fighting. This is what you wanted to see if you're Eric Bakich. You want your guy, your captain on the field to show everybody, hey, I'm fighting, and I'm fighting with you.
Well, if he can get on, it creates some traffic for Nate Savoy, who's already homered tonight. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. A leadoff walk for Purify. And he was fired up after getting aboard. And here comes Savoy. A pair of home runs this weekend, second on the team in blast. That was last night off Wyatt Danielewicz. A solo shot. This in the first inning tonight. An impressive opposite field blast. And he certainly has the power to make this a one-run game. Well, the first of the runners back.
Watching Savoy hit is fun too, because we've seen a bunch of his home runs. They're basically out of center field, using the big part of the field. That's where he's going to have his launch. So he lets that ball get a little bit deeper, and man, there's a lot of power that comes through with his backside.
Schweitzer's allowed home runs in each of his last 2 outings, one at Cal, and then in their midweek victory over Kentucky, he got off to a very slow start this year and looked to be rounding into shape. His April numbers have been much better than they were through the end of March. But he's been scored on in the last 2 outings, and this is a guy who was a hugely important reliever for them a year ago. They need Schweitzer to get back on track if Louisville has hopes of running the table here at the end of the ACC season. Miss to the breaking ball, and it's 2-0.
Right now, you're Schweitzer. You just got to go after Savoy. Get it. There's a lot of power there. But you can't just continue to allow free passes because you start to get through this. And Tristan McClatty, listen, I know he hasn't gotten a hit, but he can hit. Then you can get to a guy like Jacob Gerald with guys on base. That could be a dagger.
Fires a strike on the outside corner. It's 2-1. Jose Matamoros made a few more friends with that call than he had with some of the previous offerings. A throw over, and the runner Purify dives back. Purify is a threat to run, but down 3.
Not with Savoy up. I feel like you've got to let him swing the bat.
Clemson has to find a way to try and get their offense getting in a better direction. They scored 3 in the first. They've been held without since then. A foul tip into the glove. It's 2-2.
See if he elevates the fastball here. Savoy's been a little bit late on that fastball.
The set. 2-2. Breaking ball fouled away.
That's a very good pitch. You just dotted up a fastball away, then you come back to a breaking ball down in the zone. Savoy did a very nice job just to be able to foul that pitch off.
Another throw over to keep Purify close. Purify favoring that hand a little bit.
He's going to feel it. Swinging on it. Again, his first real swings. There's a difference between hitting in the cage and hitting on the field against a pitcher. The swing's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit harder. He's going to be feeling some pain. It's going to get sore on him.
Using his left hand to push himself off the ground. He's got the dual oven mitts going. The 2-2. Inside it hit him, and it'll bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out in the 7th. Schweitzer loses Savoy, and the first 2 have reached for Clemson in the 7th inning. And this is their best chance to get back in the game with McClatty and the red-hot Gaffney and powerful Gerald coming up. Here's McClatty. 0 for 3 tonight. Those all against the lefty in Eberle. McClatty hitting over 300 against right-handed pitching, and Roger Williams, pitching coach for Louisville, is going to make a trek to the mound. He has had to do that a lot this year to try and get things right. It has, as much as we talked about how things have not gone well for Clemson, overall, the pitching has been an issue for Louisville this season. They have not been consistent. They are 13th in the league in ERA coming into the weekend. They have not managed to find much success, especially out of the bullpen, and even with guys that were good last year.
And that's kind of the point. Where when you look at Louisville and where they stand, they're 8-11 in conference play. There's a reason for that. A lot of it has to do, especially with the pitching and the bullpen, where they're not able to hold on to those leads. It's a 6-3 ball game right now. What you want is for your pitcher to go out there and to attack the zone. And then all of a sudden, what do? You get a walk and a hit by pitch. Now all of a sudden, you get Clemson, who's one swing away from tying this ball game up.
Jack Brown getting loose in the Louisville pen. You see, I think it said 13th or 15th in ERA in the league overall. That's over the course of the full season. Here's McClatty, first pitch. Takes outside, it's 1-0. Schweitzer has just been picking at the corners and unable to get ahead in the count. McClatty has half a dozen home runs off right-handed pitching. The pitch. Inside, it's 2-0. And we've seen him drive the ball to the opposite field.
Yeah, we have. I mean, there's some power in that bat. 8 home runs on the season. Now you put yourself in a position where you've got to throw a strike here. McClatty, he can be looking to get something out in front and drive it.
Outside, it's 3-0, and the leading home run hitter for Clemson's in the on-deck circle in Gerald.
Right now, if you're McClatty, though, you've got to put the brakes on. You can't be swinging at this pitch. You're going to have to take. Schweitzer has not been around the zone.
He squares the bunt, pulls back, and takes a strike. It's 3-1.
I believe that's the cutter that he's getting back into counts with. It's the fastball that he can't control. He's actually been throwing strikes with the cutter.
Let's see if he goes to it again. He missed with the fastball away, and the bases are loaded. Bases loaded, nobody out, and a great chance for Clemson now to at least get even in this game. Dan McDonald unsure where those pitches were missing. And with Brown getting loose, Mac's going to make a pitching change here.
I was going to say, I can see Mac coming out here. There's nothing else that you can watch. You walk to a hit by pitch, it's like I have to go somewhere else here.
3 free bases in this inning. And we're going to the bullpen again. Louisville clinging to a 6-3 lead in the 7th. Both teams need this win tonight. ACC softball next week. Big 3-game series between number 13 Florida State and Boston College. Friday's game at 4 Eastern on ACC Network Extra. Weekend matchups on ACC Network. Like everything else, all games are available on the ESPN app. Friday, Florida State's Jazzy Francic tossed her second no-hitter of the year. Seminoles beat Georgia Tech 4-0. So that's pretty impressive. Pair of no-hitters for her. It'll be a big series next weekend. A new pitcher is the Hoosier, Jack Brown from Fishers, Indiana. One of the better arms on this Louisville staff. You can see walks have been an issue, and he has been a little hittable.
Yeah, with Jack Brown on the mound, at this point, you're looking at this saying, hey, do whatever you can. If you're able to just get us out of this inning allowing one, that's a win. And that's basically what you're looking for. I'm thinking that they're going to be playing everybody back. I would be surprised if they're going to be playing even the corners in. But for Brown on the mound, it's a sinker cutter, has a curveball, about 88 to 92 miles an hour.
Luke Gaffney will hit yesterday in the loss to Louisville. Home run number 7 on the season. Blast just to the left of the batter's eye, and now with him and the leading home run hitter Gerald too. Brown, who has really struggled with right-handed hitters this year, but has not given up a ton of power. That's going to punch one into right field, a base hit. It'll knock home a run as everybody else moves up 90 feet. And Luke Gaffney, who's been an RBI machine of late, delivers another, and Clemson pulls within 2. Didn't take him long to get that run home.
No, it didn't, and Gaffney was ready. He was going for it. He got a cutter. It was up in the zone. Didn't hit it all that well, but he stayed on it. He drove it the opposite way, and for Clemson, it's keep the line moving.
Now here's Gerald. Already a home run tonight, 16 on the year. He takes outside, it's 1-0. 6-4, Louisville leads in the 7th. Davis, the first baseman, playing off the bag and in. Third baseman hot, even with the bag. Swing and a miss. He had a mighty cut at a breaking ball. He was trying to go bridge there. It's 1-1.
You know what, too? It's the slider that he doesn't really throw all that much to righties. He'll stay more with the curveball and the cutter. To me, I'm surprised that they're not going sinker here. The sinker gets 60% ground balls.
Bouncer towards the right side, gloved by Elam. His only play will be to second. He gets the out there as another run scores, and it's a 6-5 game. That was a heads-up play by Elam because Davis trying to field it, Gabby, meant that there was nobody that was going to be at the bag.
Yeah, and this is what I want to show everybody right here. Look where Davis is at. He's going to go after this ball. Then all of a sudden, you look at Elam, he's like, well, there's nobody there. I got to make a play somewhere. He gets it over to Alisea very quickly. Now, Brown did start to make his way over to first, but he kind of paused because of where that ball was at. He didn't realize how far Davis was playing over.
It was a safer play for Elam to go to second, too, because you're trying to hit the receiver on the run, essentially, there. But a heads-up play. Elam didn't really hesitate, saw Davis flash in front of him, and knew the best chance was at second. But now the tying run is at third with one out for Crichton. And he taps it foul behind the plate, and the count 0-1. Clemson has cashed in 2 runs in this inning. Can they get even? Gerald being held at first. The pitch. Crichton takes a strike. It's 0-2.
And right now for Crichton, you got to put the ball in play. You got to understand there's first and third. They're playing deep out there at second and short. You got to be able to put the ball in play. I'm surprised that they're not playing closer, more double play depth than what they are at this point.
The 0-2 to the senior. Bouncer foul, third base side. Jack Crichton's been a solid role player for the most part in this Clemson program over the last 4 years. Playing every day this season.
I'm looking at this. I'm not seeing double play depth up the middle here. I'm seeing guys playing way back.
Outside, and the count 1-2. Do you think that has to do with the turf?
I mean, it could be that the turf is there, but I'll tell you what, Crichton can pick him up and put him down. So in this point, you do want to be able to turn that double play. I feel like you would be a little bit closer to that second base to make sure that you're able to turn it.
The 1-2. Way outside, and a great stop by Nugent, 2-2.
I don't know how Nugent was able to stop this ball. This ball was pulled completely, and Nugent, like a cat behind home plate, is able to go and still make the play.
Tying run at third is McClatty as he comes down the line. A throw over, and Gerald, who's not going anywhere, flops back. I mean, maybe 2-2. They put him in motion, but like he's not going to try and steal, is he?
No, I wouldn't think so.
It means he's going on this pitch. He's not. Ripped foul past third. Linus Baker had to jump out of the way and called it foul. I think he's hearing it a little bit from the Clemson dugout. It feels like the right call, Gabby, but it was very close.
It was very close down that third base line. And he got it correct.
He got it right.
The reason is, too, is that as he's jumping, his body's turned almost like to save fair, so he had to stop himself.
The 2-2 misses low, and the count is full to Crichton.
Well, now you might see maybe somebody moving. Now Gerald might be saying, okay, maybe get on the horse just in case he does put this ball in play on the ground. You can try to stay out of that double play.
The pitch. Chopper to third, hot on the short hop. His only play to first in time to get him to McClatty scores, and Clemson has played at 3 in the 7th. They have tied this game at 6. Just some good execution from Clemson's offense in this half inning.
Well, it's just what we talked about, Crichton. You got to be able to just put the ball in play. First and third with 1 out. Put the ball in play when you get to 2 strikes. Things are going to happen. He does that, gets an RBI, and all of a sudden we got a new ball game.
And the go-ahead runs in scoring position with 2 outs for Bryce Clavin, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. The center fielder takes outside. It's 1-0.
One more, Jack. One more. Let's go, kid.
Clemson 6, Louisville 6. Clemson needs wins to keep their NCAA hopes alive. So does Louisville. Both on the outside looking in the projections right now. That one down low, 2-0 to Clavin. It has gotten really quiet here at Jim Patterson Stadium. Outside, 3-0. Louisville entered this half inning with a 3-run lead. They went to the bullpen. Jake Schweitzer struggled. Brown has been able to keep the ball in the strike zone more. As there's a strike, it's 3-1. But Clemson has cleared the bases. The bases loaded, nobody out situation. They've cashed in all 3. And still have a chance to take the lead. The 3-1. And the count goes full. Clavin, the former high school football star in the state of Georgia, waits. The payoff. Ball 4 and Clavin walks. And the inning continues for Jay Dillard. Seven walks for Louisville, and 3 of them are in this inning, plus a hit by pitch.
That's been the Achilles heel for this Louisville pitching staff. It's been being able to come in. You got to be able to throw strikes. You have to be able to go after hitters, especially when you're coming in out of the bullpen.
The senior Dillard 0 for 3. Takes a strike, it's 0-1. Should say the grad student Dillard. He graduated in 3 years. Part-time players seen a lot more playing time because of injuries this season. Popped up. The second baseman, Elam, will make the catch, and the inning is over. But Clemson ties the game. They cash in 3 from a bases loaded, no out situation. We've reached the stretch even at 6. ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship game tomorrow. The All-ACC team will be in Charlotte to get you set for it. 30 minutes pregame at 11:30 a.m. Eastern with the final to follow. And after the game, the All-ACC team will break it all down with highlights, analysis, and interviews with players and coaches. It's tomorrow on the ACC Network. Now, this one's gotten interesting. Clemson has rallied to tie Louisville 6-6. What's at stake tonight? Both of these teams still have aspirations of making the NCAA tournament as at-large bids. Both are under 500 in the ACC. Both need wins. And Byram Hott will lead off against Hayden Simerson, and first pitch misses 1-0. I would say that Louisville needs a win worse than Clemson, but Clemson needs a win worse than Louisville, but Louisville also needs a win worse than Clemson.
I got all of that. And I agree 100% with everything you just said.
What I'm trying to say is that
each one of these teams need to get a win.
I mean, we talked about it at the outside, Gabby.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a series that we expected to be between two teams who were in the back half of the ACC. These were both teams that felt like slam dunks to make the postseason this year. But the pressure is mounting on both of them.
I mean,
for
both
Eric
these
Beck-
teams are what, top 25 teams to start off preseason.
That's right. Louisville in the top 10.
Top 10 for Louisville. You know, Clemson, especially after every single year hosting regionals after hosting regionals. Like, these are the two teams that you were expecting, especially in the ACC, to be representing the ACC maybe in Omaha.
Clemson, as Hott draws a leadoff walk here to start the Louisville 7th. You know, while Louisville had been scuffling the last couple of years, you can see where their resumes are. Clemson is on the 4 to watch because their RPI is in pretty good position. And again, there's other metrics that are being considered here. Louisville needs to keep winning quality RPI series and games. They got one this week against Kentucky. They got one last night against Clemson. But again, like, this is, Clemson hasn't been to Omaha since 2010, right? Louisville last year was kind of a miracle run to get there. They need victories here to just get a chance to get to Omaha. And like, Louisville's a great example of, like, last year.
Yeah.
They finished 10th in the ACC. They made the tournament, and then what do? They go to Nashville. They beat their one of their arch rivals in Vanderbilt in the regional, and then come here and take 2 out of 3 from Miami, and they found themselves in the Final Four.
They got hot at the right time. Kind of exactly what Dan McDonald is trying to look for his team to do again. Like, hey, we're basically saying that this is a new season too. Kind of the same thing that Clemson was saying.
Popped up by Nugent into foul ground. Dillard makes the catch for out number 1. And we'll bring up Ben Slanker. 6-6 game, last of the 7th. I'm trying to think of the games that we've done in Louisville over the last 2 years. Have any of them lacked tension?
No, they haven't. And you look at Louisville and you kind of start looking forward, right? Like, you don't want to go past Clemson, but you do have series that are coming up. You talked about the RPI, about, hey, you got to have those wins against teams with good RPIs. Well, guess what? They've got some teams that have some good RPIs that they're still to play. They got to play at Wake. They got to go to Miami. You got a top 20 team in Virginia.
The most shocking thing on there, I think, on that list, Vanderbilt's RPI is 76. Yeah, that's stunning. That's entering tonight. I don't know. I would have to check. They're playing Texas this weekend. They're at 77 up to the moment. They can now 2-1 to Slinker.
And you would think that that's going to continue to go up. Playing in the SEC, just like ACC teams, you would think that those are going to go up.
You have to win games, though, too, and that's been Vanderbilt's issue, is that they have not played well. They're also a team on the outside. Now, listen, if Louisville is close to getting in or feels like their metrics are okay, one of the things that you've seen has happened is those midweek games against teams with 200 RPIs, they tend to be rescheduled.
It's true.
Interesting this week, I don't know if you saw this one, but Michigan, runner goes, pitches a ball, throw down to second is not in time, Hot with a stolen base. And he's in scoring position with 1 out for Slanker. But Michigan this week, and they're going to get a review of this, Clemson wants to challenge. They think they may have gotten him on the leg, but Michigan canceled the midweek with Dayton. And, and then went to play Miami of Ohio, who was in the 40s in RPI. Go ahead.
No, I was just, from live, it looked like he was safe, and I'm surprised that Clemson is like, yeah, let's go ahead and use this one.
They only have 1 challenge remaining.
I mean, it looked like his hand's in there, and the tag is on the backside, but the hand's there, the tag is made. This, to me, is, it should be pretty
that angle
here.
Made it look closer than
it
the
did,
other
but it
two,
just, there's nothing that tells me that he is out. And you had both Lichtenberger and Purified coming up right away saying, hey, let's check this one out. But again, too, it's got 1 left. So, like, did you really want to use it in this position?
Well,
which I get it, you're in scoring position.
That's right, in the 7th inning of a tie game, right? So,
well, here it is again. I do see Lichtenberger's foot, too, right in the baseline. Does that hand hit the foot first? The tag is applied, but the hand's already on there.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, my eyesight's terrible, and I think he's safe.
I have this being safe. Every single replay that I've seen has been safe.
So we'll wait for the call from the umpiring crew. They've gone underneath the first base stands.
Yeah. Can you roll
You
it?
can hear Linus Baker there on his microphone. His microphone's still on.
I was wondering if they came over here to the side to get a burger. They have some really good burgers in here.
Oh, man, we forgot to get one before the game, didn't we?
I don't think we forgot. I think we just made the decision
to.
You forgot? I made the decision of, we did have a salad earlier today. So we're trying to be somewhat good until later.
Wait a second. I had a salad.
What did I have?
You picked the chicken out of yours.
I still had some salad. Some greens got in the body. They got stuck to the chicken.
They're just about to get the umpire's word here from Linus Baker. It's working.
After video review, the call of safe at second base is confirmed.
So Clemson is now out of challenges, and Louisville has the go-ahead run in scoring position with 1 out, and Ben Slinker's in a 3-1 count. Hott gets the lead from second. The set. And a toss to second. Just a reminder to Hott that he's there. He knows he's there.
Let's go, Benny!
Slanker was 4th in the nation at home runs a year ago, 8 on this season. And he misses that one. It's 3-2.
Big swing from Slanker. Let's see if he could hit his 9th home run on the season with that one.
Is that a curveball? Because you don't see it popping out of his hand at all, do you?
No, you don't.
3-2. Down low, ball 4, and Louisville has a pair aboard with 1 out in the 7th. Second walk of the inning for Simerson. And here's Cade Elam.
I know that Simerson does have the split finger because that's what he holds. Usually you're going to hold whatever the toughest pitch that you have. That's what you're going to grip right away. And then when you bring it into the glove, if it's not that pitch, that's when you'll change it to whatever it is that you're going to throw. He does have that fastball on the sinker.
First pitch to Elam, chopped to third. Dillard steps on the bag, but it's foul. Dillard was thinking about sashaying across third and firing to first for a double play, but it's a foul ball. Ariston Vesey is getting loose in the bullpen for Clemson. He has been outstanding. The Alabama transfers had some big moments out of the Clemson pen this year. He went 2/3 of an inning yesterday through 16 pitches. 0-1 the count to Elam. Good night for the freshman. Chases that high fastball. It's 0-2. Elam has those 2 hits. He also has made a pair of spectacular defensive plays. And he's down on 3 pitches there as he chased that one on the count, and it's now out number 2.
Got to remember, too, the pitch before, what was it? It was that elevated fastball up. What is he going to do after? Yeah, he's going to go straight to that curveball. It's a big one, too. Starts middle, just breaks off the table. Very good pitch to get Elam.
I mean, that has splitter action.
It has splitter action.
Really
it's crazy.
Gross.
But it's a curveball. The spin rate on it shows us it's a curveball. That's a really good curveball.
0-1 the count to Kyle Campbell.
I mean, he uses his curveball 34% of the time. Against righties, he'll use it 33%. So that's the main pitch that he will go to.
In the dirt.
It's got a ton. It's not popping out of the hand that you're usually seeing when a guy will throw a curveball. Usually you'll see a pop. These are going almost like split, like you're talking about, straight down into the ground.
It's like an 85-mile-an-hour lawn dart. 1-2.
And then he does that with the fastball. That's what we call when we say tunneling. That's what it's tunneling. It's the fastball, the curveball. They're in the same exact vicinity of where they're starting. But that curveball right now is just diving down.
The 1-2. Runner goes from second, pitch in the dirt. And Hot with his second stolen base of the inning, and now the go-ahead run 90 feet away with 2 outs.
And not a bad idea either by Hot. Why? Because now you might limit the breaking ball. Now you might be saying, all right, here, I'm going to get to third base. Now you're going to have to come with the fastball, because if this ball gets behind Gerald, we're going to be able to score a run here.
Called strike 3. Simerson paints the fastball in the outside corner, and Louisville leaves him at the corners. Hayden Simerson with a big moment here. Freezing Campbell. We head to the 8th, tied at 6. RPI, Clemson 44, Louisville 96. Listen, if you're not in the mid-40s, you don't really have a chance in the ACC, but Clemson's 6-13 conference record's a problem. And Louisville under 500 in league. They're trying to make another late run through ACC play to get into the field of 64 after making it to Omaha a year ago. This has been an interesting game. Clemson led by 3. Louisville led by 3. Clemson just tied it in the 7th. And now they will have 8-9-1-2 against the right-hander Jake Brown, who got, I don't know, do you say he got out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam? I mean, he gave up 3 runs, but he got out of the inning. Lichtenberger down the left field line. He's heading for second. The throw from Rose. He is out! Zion Rose with a hose to get Lichtenberger. The former catcher showing off the cannon. Wow, what out.
I'll tell you this, Lichtenberger, he took off right away. What a great job by Rose. Look at how he's able to get to this ball, and not only that, get his body in the right position to make the absolute cannon of a throw to get Lichtenberger out. My goodness, what a play.
Just did get the fingers before they hit the bag as Purify takes a strike. Boy, Louisville has played some defense tonight.
I mean, look at that throw, too. On the money, from the side, just really good body control to be able to get around that ball and then show off an absolute cannon.
Zion Rose is not your typical left fielder arm strength-wise. I mean, he was a very good prep catcher and was a catcher when he first got here to Louisville. And because of Matt Klein being here, right? That was a big reason why he went to the outfield, but also because of his athleticism.
Yeah, his athleticism, just even him getting to this ball, how quick he got there, not only to be able to get there, but to be able to get around that ball and make the throw.
Incredible.
And by the way, remember we talked about the replays and, getting them out. That would have been one that I guarantee you that Eric Bakich wished that he still had one in his back pocket because, hey, that's a challenge play right away. Even if he was out, that's one that you would be challenging.
It was bang, bang. And Purify draws a walk for the second straight plate appearance. And now the speedster aboard with 1 out in the 7th. And here comes Nate Savoy. Savoy hit by a pitch. Purify scored after walking in the 7th. Savoy scored after being hit by a pitch in the 7th. Jake Brown facing one of the top power hitters for Clemson and being instructed to
just take a peek.
Sure, Savoy is looking at him.
Just making sure you're looking at Savoy, I think is what he got told.
Brown set, and he'll fire to first as Purify had a short lead that time.
Yeah, I think Purify here, and one of the things that I've noticed too with Purify when he's on first base, he'll typically take a smaller lead, but he's very explosive out of the gate. He'll even shuffle out like if he's going to steal on balls that he's not. That's almost like his secondary.
With a toss over. We've seen a lot of guys use that vault lead more and more, right? Where they try and time up the pitcher with it.
It's almost that little jump and go.
We were talking about that a lot the other night because Mike Roberts, who used to be the coach at North Carolina, was one who taught so many guys about that on the Cape. The strike at the knees, the count 0-1.
Hey, you're seeing a lot of big league teams using that as well.
It makes sense, right? It's a way to gain a little bit more momentum.
Right. And you got motion and you're moving. And there's guys who would do it when I was playing back differently. It would be more of a shuffle, and then go.
Another toss over, and Purify flops back.
But Purify, it's fun to watch him because it looks like he's almost stealing on every single pitch. So his secondary is almost like if he's stealing the base.
The pitch, swing and a miss.
Savoy was looking to hit that one a mile.
0-2 the count to the slugger Savoy.
Now I would be interested here to see if Purify does take off. And the reason why 2 strikes usually is a time where you'll see a breaking ball. Looks like they're telling him to pick over.
You were right.
Yeah, well, I know the figures.
Okay.
But this would be the time, and usually that is a telltale to tell you that he's going to be throwing a breaking ball. When they pick, see if you can keep him close.
Tossed again. Did you predict that one too?
I didn't see. Just looking at you when we were talking. I'm more looking at your.
You're looking at my monitor. I know what you're looking at. Resetting the pitch timer there as they get Savoy to Purify called timeout at first base. That's what it is. Okay. So Purify called time. That's where the time was, and now Savoy digs back in. Way outside. They did go to the breaking ball. It's 1-2.
Trying to keep him close. That's why I was looking at Purify to see if, hey, is this the time that you're going to take off? 0-2 count, pick over twice. More likely than not, they're going to throw the breaking ball. He decided he's not going to go.
Another toss to first and Purify back.
Question for you. Do you think college should go to the big league rule?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I'm right there with you.
I think the incessant tosses to first disrupt the flow of not just the game, but the rhythm of the pitcher on the mound. So that's my take. The 1-2. Outside, and the count 2-2. That's one of those things that we didn't know we could live without until
you
without it.
had to live
like,
without it. You're like, well, you know what? That's actually not too bad.
Mound visit limits, those are good. Let's keep the flow of action going. Oh, yeah. 2-2. Foul at the plate. Savoy challenged with a fastball that time. But after 2 straight breaking balls that weren't close, he comes back in with the heater.
And that's the case, right? The breaking balls weren't close. So Savoy is going up there going, well, you've shown me that you cannot control the breaking ball. I'm going to be sitting straight fastball, which is why he was on time on that fastball.
Pitch fouled away.
And you could do that, right? If you do hang a breaking ball or if it's out over the plate, even though I'm not really ready to hit it because I'm looking fastball and I'm getting my fastball, I could still at least foul that pitch off and get to the next one.
6-6 the score as we play the top of the 8th. Important game if either of these teams are going to run the table, try and thread the needle to get to the postseason. Pitch, called, strike 3. Fastball on the outside corner freezes Savoy, 2 outs. We'd gone in twice at the heater cabbie and went away there.
Yeah, he went a play, and Nate Savoy, he didn't like the call. He thought the pitch was off. But I think, too, that this is just going to freeze him. That's way too close to take, and that's one of the bigger things. That pitch is very close. It's there. You got to be able to foul it off.
Eric Bakich is hot. He was screaming at Jose Matamoros, out on the field screaming at him, and has gone back into the dugout. Again, the tension's riding very high for both these teams. McClatty takes a strike. It's 0-1. McClatty walked in the 7th, part of that 3-run inning for Clemson. 6-6 the score. The pitch, outside, it's 1-1. The one thing we can say about tonight is that both sides are displeased with every borderline pitch. I don't think it's been that bad.
I don't think it's been bad at all.
The 1-1, swing and a miss.
To be honest, I feel like he's been doing a phenomenal
Been really
job.
consistent. Well, it's natural, right? The tensions rise. Everybody knows how important this game is for both teams.
Every pitch is meaningful. Like, that's what this game means right now.
1-2 the count. Throw over and Purify back. Starting to get some more life into the fans here, rooting for Louisville tonight. 1-2. Driven to center, coming in is Moore. He's got it, inning over. Brown pitches around the 1-out walk through 7.5. Clemson and Louisville tied at 6. Bottom of the 8th inning, 6-6 game tonight. Clemson and Louisville. Second of this 3-game series. Louisville outlasted Clemson with 3 weather delays last night, 13-10. We've got another entertaining ball game tonight. The weather has been perfect. And the game has been incredibly entertaining for both of these teams that need wins to try and keep their postseason hopes alive. And the best hitters for Louisville are coming up, including that man due third, Zion Rose. He does not look bothered by the situation.
No. and you know what's crazy, too, because you look at it and you're like, whoa, what are you talking about? It's 9-1-2. Well, Alex Alicea is not a 9-hole hitter. So putting him in that spot to try to kind of limit the number of at-bats because of the lower back pain right now is going to be paying off for Louisville.
Alex Alicea will lead things off. The speedy number 9 hitter nearly got hit. It's 1-0. They are playing in at third for Alicea. You see, he's got great speed, handles the bat very, very well. The 1-0. He squares late and takes. It's 2-0. Alicea, an RBI base hit his last trip. Switch hitter batting left-handed. First time tonight, waits. The 2-0. It's 3-0. Alicea is a very dangerous base runner, too. 3 balls and no strikes to the number 9 hitter in the Louisville lineup. 6-6 game. He squares and takes a strike on the outside corner. It's 3-1. Is he taking another?
Nah, he'll be swinging if he gives him something good here. He's probably looking dead red only.
3-1. Upstairs, ball 4, and the leadoff man's aboard for Louisville in the 8th.
And to be honest with you, I think he was taking the way that he looked on that take. It was almost like as soon as he was releasing, he was already bringing it down, saying, I'm not swinging here. I'll go ahead and wait until 3-2. Now it's the interesting part where you have Alicea. You have Moore. You have the top of the lineup. Do you go ahead and look at Lucas Moore and say, hey, I want you to bunt? Do you put guys in motion? This is the interesting and the hard part when you're facing a team like Louisville.
Ariston Vesey is going to come into this game, it appears. Eric Bakich on his way out to the mound. Vesey pitched last night. He has been very good out of the Clemson pen. And he's going to try and keep this a 6-6 game, it would appear. Bakich has not made the signal yet. There is a chance he stays with Simerson here, and they're discussing defense.
Nah, we've seen this too many times before. Ariston Vesey's coming into this ball game.
And he is. I mean, Vesey's been warming up since Thursday, so like, need the delay, right?
We've seen this one plenty.
Here comes Vesey. Go ahead run at first. Nobody out last of the 8th. Clemson at Louisville in a nail biter. Ariston Vesey is coming on, the junior transfer from Alabama. Excellent numbers on the season. Maybe a few more walks than you'd expect, but he does not get hit very much. Last night, he faced Lucas Moore, who delivered an RBI single against him, and then he gave up a sacrifice fly to Zion Rose. He threw 2/3 of an inning, gave up an inherited runner, and then the sac fly from Rose scoring Alicea, who had walked against him. Here, Alicea's on first. So 2 nights in a row, same spot in the order, biggest hitters against the best pitcher for Clemson.
And that's the thing, right? You're going to have to put your best pitcher against their best hitters if you want to keep this game where it's at. That's the reason why you're bringing in Ariston Veazey at this moment. It's a lot of fastballs, 92 to 96. There's a slider that he loves to throw. He's predominantly those 2 pitches, fastball, slider. You talk about doing really well and guys not really making too much contact. Guys are only hitting 133 against him. Now, you are still talking about a position to where he's having to face Moore, Rose, and Davis, 3 really good hitters back to back to back.
Little different situation than with Ben on base and in scoring position for Moore. He's got great speed. Third baseman Dillard playing at the cut of the grass. Alicea 7 of 10 in stolen bases, not running, takes a strike to Moore. It's 0-1.
Well, one of the things that if you're Veazey, though, you can't have that big leg kick with a guy like Alex Alicea at first. He's going to be able to take off, and that's what he did in that last one. It was a huge leg kick. It's about a 1-4 to home.
Throw for the runner back.
This has got to be more of a slide step. You've got to try to bring it down. You've got to give your catcher, Gerald, a chance to make that throw to second.
Moore reached on a 3-base error by Jack Crichton that was originally scored a triple. So he is 0 for 4 tonight. Alicea with a really healthy lead at first. The 0-1 runner goes. The pitch to the screen. It rattles around. Alicea didn't see it. He'll have to stay at second. And there's a man in scoring position. He was going as soon as Veazey lifted the leg, and that, I think if Alicea goes in heads up, like not going head first in here, is paying attention, Gabby, I mean, not that he would know, but he may have had a chance to go to third.
Well, what that was, too, is that because he was with that big leg kick, that actually then now speeds up Gerald behind home plate because he knows I need to catch and go. I cannot take any time. I need to be about a 188 to 192 to be able to get Alicea out.
So the go-ahead run in scoring position with nobody out for Moore, who squared to bunt before. 2-1 the count. Squares again. Bunts it foul, and the count 2-2. Oh, you can tell Moore is frustrated with himself there.
Yeah, he knew that he needs to try to get that ball down. This is about team game. You got to get that bunt down when you're asked to. Now you're in a position to where you're not going to be bunting. There's 2 strikes, but you still got to get the job done. So you got to get that ball, and you have to hit it to the right side to get Alicea over.
2-2. Moore takes to the dirt, and the count 3-2.
That's a heck of a take because that pitch was absolutely filthy. Threw the curveball there. That was good up and down. He doesn't throw it all that much, but he will throw that curveball.
Gabby, I know you're talking about getting him to the right side, but we know Moore can use the off-field. And with the third baseman playing in, even with 2 strikes, there's a huge hole there. The 3-2. And he dumps that one foul down the left field line.
You're right. You're playing with fire, though, on that side.
Yeah.
Now you are letting the ball get a little bit deeper and travel. I think right now it's basically, hey, got to get the ball in play, got to put the ball in place, more on the ground than anything else.
Justin Legurnick is getting up in the bullpen for Clemson. You would think that the lefty is getting ready to face Tig Davis if it gets that far. The 3-2 again. Outside, ball 4, and the first 2 have reached for Louisville here in the 8th. Good at bat for Moore.
That's a great at bat for Moore. That's a battle at bat. Foul off some tough pitches. End up winning that battle, getting yourself over to first, and bringing in Zion Rose.
And now you have 2 elite base stealers on. Moore, maybe the best base stealer in the country at first. Alicea, excellent at second. Rose, an RBI base hit his last trip. 6-6 game. He swings and misses. He was trying to make it 9-6 there. It's 0-1.
I like it.
early in the count. You get a pitch that you're looking for. It's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Let loose on it.
The pitch. Lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Alisea around third. The throw is cut off. Louisville takes the lead. Zion Rose delivers again.
What a big-time hit from the captain. Coming through. Needed it. Gets a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Stays on top of it. The hit collector strikes again. I love Alisea because he never hesitated. As soon as that ball was hit, he knew where the outfielders were, and he was off and running, which is why he was able to score. If he would have frozen just any little bit, he wouldn't have been able to be safe at home.
I thought VC was going to face Davis here for a second, but Gerald's heading out, and they're going to have to go get VZ, you would think, to bring in Lagurnik.
VZ's saying, I want to stay right here. This is my game. And VZ just looked at the dugout, and that's exactly what he did. He pointed to the mound, and he said, I want this.
Earlier this season, we saw VZ talk his way into staying in a
Miami?
game against Miami.
Yeah, I remember that one.
He talked his way into it. Eric Bakich kept him in, and you can see him. He's shaking his head at the dugout. Do not take me out. I've got this guy. Does Eric Bakich trust him again?
He absolutely does. He says, you want him? Go get him. Nope, I'm not going to trust you. He got me. He got me. Now, I wonder if this is going to be a talk or if this is going to be a change.
Lagurnik. Yeah, Lagurnik is tough, and he's already signaled for him. It's a low slot lefty with good stuff. It would be stunning to see him leave VC in here. 7-6 Louisville leads as Lagurnik, who has turned himself into one of the best relievers in the ACC, enters for Clemson, trying to keep this a one-run deficit in a game that they absolutely need tonight. They trail by a run. And he's going to have to face one of the leading candidates for the Golden Spikes Award as the top amateur baseball player in the country. Let's take a look at these numbers. This is incredible to me, Gabby. Now, he was hitting over 500 against lefties yesterday, so he has come down a touch. But that OPS is 1,500 against left-handed pitching.
Well, I mean, then you start to go look and you say, was VC right of just saying, hey, leave me in here? The splits say that it should be me, but it's a little bit different when you have Lagurnik on the mound. Tough on lefties, especially from that angle. He's got elbows and arms and legs coming at you.
7-6 Louisville leads. Jake Davis has had a quiet night tonight. He did fly out to the fence. That is where he slugs, which is like.
And where they've been getting him out is down and away. That's actually exactly where they've been getting him out today. He's been chasing that down and away pitch. But if you make any type of mistake anywhere else, unless it's going to be up and in, he has been punishing baseballs. Lagurnik, though, on the mound, really good fastball, 93 to 96. He has a slider to go along with it. He will throw a changeup, but against lefties, it's going to be sinker slider. He's going right after guys.
Justin Lagurnik is on. The junior left-hander who was in the rotation last year to open the season, has found a role at the back end of games, and the strikeout numbers are eye-popping. And he will face Tag Davis. Davis, these are the numbers in the BB Core era. You see that he matches up with some of the greats. Chris Bryant, that's one of the great seasons of all time because he out-homered like half of the teams in college baseball. Ivan Melendez just was released by the Diamondbacks this week, I saw. The best nickname maybe in college baseball history, the Hispanic Titanic. First and second, nobody out. Legurnick against Davis. 7-6 Louisville. First pitch outside, 1-0.
You know that Legurnick, too, has got a little umph in there because that fastball is at 97 miles an hour.
The pitch. Outside, and the count 2-0.
Got to go fastball here. You got to get in the zone. Let's see if Davis gets that foot down.
Loves to work up in the zone. And that one fouled away. He went down below the zone. One of the spots that Davis will chase against lefties. Count 2-1.
That was another 97-mile-an-hour fastball down and in, but you can see that Tate Davis was ready. He was getting that foot down. He knew he was going to be getting a fastball.
2-1, the pitch. Upstairs, 3-1. That's where you have to go. It's either higher than high or up and in the inside part of the plate if you're going to work at the top of the zone against Davis.
You
and Legurnick throws a lot of fastballs up in the zone against lefties.
But you better not miss up there because we saw the heat map last year on pitches up were absolutely destroyed.
3-1, outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Davis works the walk. And now the bases are loaded and a chance for Byram Hott to break things wide open with nobody out in the 8th.
This is not what Bakich wanted. Bullpen guys come in this inning alone. 3 walks and a base hit.
And we're going to get another pitching change here. Bakich with the walk out to the mound. He has a right-hander getting loose. The righty is Danny Nelson. He has not made the signal as of yet. Bakich waiting as long as he can with Legurnick only facing one hitter. Bakich waiting. And having a little bit of a discussion with Matamoros, Jose Matamoros, our home plate umpire. This is starting to take a little bit longer, and he's going to, boy, he's still pleading his case.
This is an easy way to get tossed very quickly when you start to argue those balls and strikes.
And he's going to go and make a pitching change. Danny Nelson is coming in. Louisville trying to take command of this game. They lead 7-6 with the bases loaded, nobody out in the 8th.
Doesn't get a lot bigger than this.
Run straight for the breakaway.
Who will emerge? We'll see.
Coming soon, less than a month, Charlotte ACC Baseball Championships. Here are the standings. This is what's at stake. Louisville trying to get even with Pitt and Stanford for 9th in the league. Try and keep their postseason hopes alive. Clemson trying to get closer to getting out of the basement in the ACC. And the new pitcher for Clemson is Danny Nelson. As Louisville, you can see that they are sensing The big opportunity to break this game wide open in the 8th.
And they're going to have to do it against Danny Nelson. It's going to be a lot of sliders. That's the main pitch that he likes to throw. Slider, fastball. It's a good fastball, too. The fastball's 94 to 97 miles an hour. He will throw a sinker, does have a curveball as well. But it's going to predominantly be that slider between 84 and 88 miles an hour. He's going to need a big-time pitch here. Bases loaded. There's no place to put anybody, and there's no outs.
5 walks out of the Clemson bullpen, and they've only recorded 5 outs tonight. Good at bats for Louisville is Byram Hott, who has 1 career grand slam. That was back when he was at Marist. Bases loaded, infield in, first pitch, fouled away off to the right and out of play. It's 0-1. See Hott's numbers on base twice more tonight. He waits. 0-2. Challenge with 96.
Yeah, started off with the slider. Then says, all right, well, looks like you were looking for that one. Here's 96. I'll go back to that fastball, elevated up.
The 0-2. Bounce to second. Purify off his glove. He's going to have no play. 8-6 Louisville. Purify just could not get the handle on that from Hott. And Louisville tacks on a run.
Mikey just tried to be too quick. This is a ground ball right at him, backhand. Tried to be a little bit too quick. Then he goes to try to pick it up, misses it, and all that is there is understanding you got to try to get an out, try to be a little bit too quick with it, and end up getting none.
An error on Purify, the 9th in 2 games for Clemson and the 4th of the night. And here's Nugent, who's already homered. He swings and misses. It's 0-1.
Let's go, kid. You got this.
It's really more like 3 errors tonight.
I agree.
Jack Crichton did not deserve one, but still, 3's not what you want either. And Nugent unloads to left, racing over and making the catch is Crichton. Near the foul pole, coming home to score is Rose on the sac fly, and Louisville extends the lead to 9-6. Nugent just missed that. It was a big swing, and he gets in an insurance run.
Oh, I think Nugent just hit this ball off the end of the bat. That's the only thing that will make sense to me, because once he hit it, I thought he got it, but the ball just a little bit off the end, but still gets the job done. Base is loaded, get something to the outfield, get another run across.
9-6 Louisville, still threatening with Slanker at the plate. Slanker's walked, doubled, and singled. 2 for 3, on base 3 times tonight. First pitch outside, it's 1-0. Now, Tate Davis running at second is not, you would think, a big threat to run. And with the left-hander up, I doubt they would do it here. But this is kind of those situations that you expect Louisville to be super aggressive to try and take advantage of the fact that they have momentum in their favor.
They got momentum, but the last thing that you're going to want to do is have a guy like Tate Davis try to steal third with an open door, meaning they have a lefty up. That's a clear-cut view for the catcher to make that throw.
Slanker swings over the top of another breaker. It's 1-2.
Now you know that Nelson does like to throw that slider a whole bunch, right? So as a base runner, what you're trying to do is you're trying to extend that secondary just a little bit more in case that ball is dirted. You're able to get yourself over to third.
Down low, 2-2. Yesterday in the 8th inning, Louisville had a 10-8 lead. They tacked on 3 runs. Clemson loaded the bases in the 9th with nobody out. They ended up scoring a pair. Those 3 runs in the 8th ended up being the difference. inside, and the count is full. Tonight, it's a 3-run 8th inning that has given Louisville the lead.
I'll tell you this. I don't know why Danny Nelson doesn't throw that fastball more. I mean, it's 96, 97 out of his hands.
Did you see the swings he got on the breaking ball?
Well,
this guy's going to be pretty good.
You know,
he's already good.
He's already good. He's going to be very good.
The strikeout to walk ratio is pretty insane. Down low with a breaker and a walk, the 6th of the night for the bullpen for Clemson, and the bases reload.
I don't think that Danny Nelson knew what the count was there, because he threw that pitch and then was like, what do you mean? Why is it ball? Why is he going to first base? We still have another pitch here.
I'm not sure that Slinker fully knew. He didn't react right away. And the base is loaded now for the freshman, Cade Elam. Elam, a single walk, a pair of runs scored.
And about 19 plays where you might see him on the top 10 for ESPN coming up soon.
Yeah, SportsCenter's getting a lot of programming out of Cade Elam tonight. Jax Heisel is going to run at first for Slinker. Heisel, the grandson of longtime big leaguer, 14-year big leaguer Larry Heisel, who was the hitting coach for the 92 and 93 world champion Toronto Blue Jays. He will run here for Slinker with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 8th. And Louisville trying to break it wide open with the freshman Elam at the plate. And he hits it on the ground to short, could be 2. Lichtenberger to second for 1, Purified at first, and he throws it away. 2 runs are going to score on the play. A second error of the inning on Purify, and it's 11-6 Louisville.
That was looking to be a tailor-made double play to get out of the inning. Lichtenberger to Purify to Gaffney. I think Purify just sped himself up again a little bit too much. This is a routine ground ball. The feed was perfect, but it was just, I got to get rid of it so quick, because he saw that Cade Elam was getting down that line and he ended up pulling it.
They said no error on the play right now, but
that's an error.
There has to be, because it allowed the runner
Correct.
to score.
Yeah,
that's going to get changed.
Yeah.
You can't assume the double play, right? So that it's not the play at first, but the runner had stopped at third.
Did they give it to Louisville? That's the point. I thought they only had one,
yeah,
so I think that's
right.
what they did.
Kyle Campbell takes a strike, down 0-1.
But yeah, that's definitely an error, because there's a runner that scored.
(11-6) Louisville, a 5-run 8th inning, and now they're 3 outs away from a series win. Campbell getting the start in right field tonight with the lefty on the mound in place of Crane, and that one misses outside. They count 1-2. Looking ahead to the Clemson 9th, they'll have Gaffney, Gerald, and Crichton do. Bouncer to third. Nice play by Dillard, and he throws to first, and the inning is over. A nightmarish 8th for Clemson. Louisville scores 5 times, and they're 3 outs away from a series win, leading 11-6. Win their first ACC series since the opening weekend of conference play when they beat Notre Dame. They are 3 outs away from clinching the series win against Clemson and moving into a 3-way tie for 9th place in the ACC. But more importantly, for Louisville's postseason hopes, a win will help them in the RPI and their other metrics because Clemson's standing. Aaron England's going to try and finish this off. The sophomore left-hander takes over. Walks have been a huge issue for him. 34 base runners in 18 innings.
And you're in a point of the game where you can't allow any walks. The last thing that you want to do if you're Louisville is give Clemson a glimpse of, hey, we can come back here. So this is going to be a big moment here for England to be able to come in and utilize that fastball, throw the slider cutter. You got to be able to throw strikes. So if they're going to get on, they got to get on by swinging the bat. For Clemson, you got to do everything you possibly can to get on base and move it on. They were able to do it in yesterday's ball game. They almost were able to come back. Same type of situation right now.
Gaffney with a big cut at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Yeah, it was 3 scratch base hits against Ty Stark last night. They loaded the bases with nobody out. With 2 outs, Stark hit a batter. And then an error on Tate Davis allowed another run to score before he was able to get out of it. A similar situation, a 5-run lead. Can Clemson put together the rally and get it over the hump tonight? Gaffney's going to have to battle back from 0-2. A loss tonight for Clemson would send them to 6-14 in league. And Gaffney's down on 3 pitches, and England let him hear about it. 1 out.
This is what you want to see here. Aaron England coming in and just all over the strike zone. Finishes them off with a good 92-mile-an-hour fastball on the top of the zone. You can see he is pumped.
Gerald, a 2-run homer in the first. 1 for 3 tonight with a walk. Takes upstairs. It's 1-0. Senior captain trying to get something started for the Tigers. 1-1. That's the look of frustration that has followed Clemson around this season. Gerald swings and skies one high in the air. Well foul.
Had a good hang time on that one.
Well, you got nervous for a minute because you're parked not far from there.
Nah, it's a rental.
That's fine.
A nice rental, though.
You know, it's Mickey's problem. And the roof's starting to fill in. 1-2 the count. The pitch. Inside.
That's a good pitch. Now he's able to come back with the breaking ball. That's a really good pitch. You go fastball up and in. Now you can utilize really anything that you want. I'm thinking that he's going to go with the breaking ball with that slider.
Swing and a miss.
Oh, no, he won't.
Gerald out on strikes, 2 outs.
Mike, I'll tell you what, Aaron England is a guy that would what I'm seeing right now, the numbers just don't make any sense because he is throwing the ball extremely well. He is attacking the zone with the fast. I don't see those 17 base on balls anymore. I'm seeing somebody who is confident on the mound.
Crichton takes a high strike. It's 0-1. Louisville 1 out away from a series win and is at a crushing blow to Clemson's waning postseason hopes. The set, the 0-1, outside, and the count 1-1. Crichton a double in a key moment tonight where he led off the 6th inning with a double and then did not move. And that one fouled away, and the count 1-2. And after that, Louisville scored a pair in the bottom of the 6th inning. Clemson came back to tie it in the 7th, but Louisville's 5-run 8th has them now 1 strike away from a series win. England trying to strike out the side. He does! Louisville wins tonight. Down 3-0 in the first. They come back to beat Clemson, and they get just their 2nd ACC series win of the season. The final tonight, 11-6. The final score is not indicative of how intense this ball game was.
This was a crazy ball game. You had Clemson take the lead. You had Louisville fight back. You got Clemson tying it up. And you had Louisville scoring 5 in that bottom of the 8th inning. You got to give it to this Louisville team. Boy, up and down the lineup. How about Jimmy Nugent, the game that he had today? He had a huge home run. He was on base, had some big sac flies. Zion Rose, he had himself a very nice game. Aaron England, at the end of the ball game, they needed somebody to come out of that pen and show some gusto, and boy, did he ever. Striking out the side. I mean, he looked like a man that closes out ball games every single day.
3 strikeouts on his fastball, and Louisville gets the series victory. They beat Clemson tonight 11-6, and for the Tigers, they are now 6-14 in the ACC. And if tonight was a must-win, then tomorrow afternoon is an absolutely, positively must-win. We will be with you at 2 o'clock Eastern tomorrow for the finale of this series from Louisville. For Gabby Sanchez and this amazing crew we have in Louisville, I'm Mike Farron. Thank you for joining us tonight. Louisville beats Clemson 11-6. They take the series. All ACC is next.